Welcome out, everybody, to this Nations Cup Season 4 matchup of England versus Finland here as we're starting out on Upward. Thank you guys all for bearing with us as we were trying to get everybody into the server. I'm, of course, joined out here tonight by Atomicus. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward for some Highlander action between England and Finland. And an interesting fact, they both have land in their name, so I guess we're going to have to find out who's the best land.
I love that. That's that's good. I didn't even think of that angle on it, but now we have that look at it. And of course, everybody, we have John on camera here. As we're waiting for the last couple to get in here, but we can kind of talk about the teams coming into this. We actually had to reschedule this match from earlier this week, but it was incredibly good from what we saw of it. And I mean, would you say that there's a favorite today here, Atomic?
Well, I mean, I could be biased towards Finland or England. I mean, I know most of the players on both teams, so I need to be neutral in a way. But there are definitely a lot of good players on both teams, so I'm looking forward to this match.
So here we go. The ready-ups have happened. There's one player missing from the England side as we are already about 30 minutes past the official start time, so we did just kind of get this game going. And so, yeah, actually then we finally got all 9 players in server, so we should be good to go. And we'll be seeing the first setup out of the Finnish side, who are going to be starting on the defense, and England on the offense. So we're seeing this spot. We saw it last time, which is kind of this more aggressive sentry spot out of the Finnish engineer, and that is Maddox, which is going to cover the playground. Do you actually want to go over the Finnish roster real quick here before we get set up done?
Sure. We have Jose as Medic, as the Scout, Santu as Pyro, Kilahila, I hope that's how you pronounce it, as Sniper, Kuna as Heavy, Zub as Soldier, Maddox as the Engineer, Toba as Demo, and Kumi as the Finnish Spy.
And on the English side, we have Az the Dwarf on Medic, Snow on Spy, Hildreth on Demo, Buttnose on Scout, Chewit on Soldier, Emilio Estevez on Engineer, Coop, I'm going to call him, on Heavy, Cloudy on Sniper, and Gorson on Pyro as the gates are opened up here. Last time we saw England come out here, they did not do early bombs, but we'll see if they change. They kind of pushed up to the flank side to be able to see if we can do this. And again, Azza not having Uber at the start of the gate, which I still find confusing about what's going on. Obviously, he'll have it when the game gets going here. But England doing the same thing again, just trying to peek this corner. Soldier actually jumps in over the top, gets a rocket onto the engineer, that is. Gun did go down during that process, so that's going to slow it down a little bit. But the engineer is still up on the Finnish side, so he should be able to rebuild as everybody is alive for the Finnish, as 4 died in that push for England.
Snow going for a heavy pick, and he gets it indeed. And we'll see if they can manage to do anything. Cloudy gets a sniper pick on the enemy sniper from Finland. So they do have the opportunity now to push freely without having to worry about the sniper. The blue medic is pushing out. The red scout is jiggling a little bit on the right side. He will get out apparently, and the Uber gets forced by the looks of it, or it gets popped. But Finland will get the upper hand in this fight. They do have the sentry still alive.
England, Finland's backing out there. I believe they lost one of their players early on in that fight, and that kind of left the medic alone with just the soldier, actually, as Hildreth comes over the top here, kills a sniper who was just completely focused, trying to find an angle, but did not see Hildreth coming from the side, as we're getting a pretty early contest here from the English side, trying to push over side the cliff. Pyro trying to reflect back on each side, and England is doing a pretty good job of backing them up here. It looks like Finland's trying to hold on, but the pressure from England is just far too much here. Hildreth is finally taking the hill. Is he going to be able to hold on here? As actually the medic goes down there from a double donk from Toba, and Finland's probably going to, they just might re-push off this to retake the hill.
That's really good. Like on payload maps, the cannonballs are really strong. They can push the attacking team really hard, so that's really good for Finland. But we do have Snow waiting for a coordinated push on the sentry, I believe. Oh, the sentry gets sapped. He gets to Demo Man as well. We'll see if they can get the sentry goes down as well. The English Pyro goes in and gets forced. Actually gets a force on the Finnish team. And this is excellent. This is excellent for England. They will have advantage now. They just need to wait. We do see the Finnish Spy Kumi just waiting on the rock. We'll see if he can get the... Oh! Zoom getting the medic pick from England. That is so good for them. And now Finland actually being in a good position. Now they can just rebuild. And they have uber advantage. We'll see what England will do about that.
I really hope Finland pushes out of here. Holding back so far is just such a detriment to your team. I mean, England was able to basically take the... I mean, they basically took the point. If it wasn't for Azza going down there and Zub stepping up, getting a 2 to 3K with the help of his scout, that would have been England's point without Uber at all. It wasn't even that difficult of a push. I just really think on the second point, if you don't hold aggressively, you're just giving up the point for free. So finally, it looks like Finland is resetting up on the hill. Jose is going to be setting at 100% here pretty shortly, as we're seeing the English trying to push up the ridge, or it looks like they're actually going to be pushing up the kind of the side of the cliff. They're coming up this little C section here, or whatever you want to call it, Z, as they're going to have a little bit of an engagement as Finland backed off, giving up the hill for free. So we'll see how England decides to push this with 25% until they hit Uber.
Yeah, Kumi is waiting on the rocks at the moment. He's patiently waiting for that opportunity to get the English medic, so we'll see if he's going to get it. We do see the combo from Finland sitting in the house. So at the moment we just see a small skirmish, and apparently the Finnish team got forced an Uber exchange at the moment, but seems like Finland will win because they do have the sentries, so they are at a disadvantage. And Kumi going behind, let's see if he can get the medic. And Zub going in to finish, and he gets the medic. And once again, advantage goes back to Finland. They need to go back in the house. There is the English heavy, but he goes down. So once again, Finland still holding the second one without any problems.
Yeah, I think that wasn't actually a force out of the Finnish. I believe the spy who's running Cloak and Dagger for the Finns was just standing up on the rock, just giving calls out of where the English combo was and what they were doing. And I think the Finns opted to try to get a little bit aggressive in their push. Obviously, I don't know if they realized that the medic was on Uber. That was just going to be a trade, but just again, that's another good cleanup. I mean, I don't feel like England should be losing these fights, but I think really Zub is the one who's coming in over the top, doing really good plays. We're seeing a dry push here from the English side, trying to take overside the house with the heavy going against the heavy. Actually, Medic's caught in here from the Finnish side. He actually does get forced off there, so that's Jose having to be popped as they were holding a little bit aggressively with the heavy in that house, and now the heavy for English is holding the furthest forward right now, holding everybody back, as Kumi did get a nice stab on Emilio there on the card, I believe that was, or just on the side, as Hildreth is trying to do something, as Zoop trying to come over the top again, but this time the Pyro was there to reflect that, and Hildreth actually went down during that bomb there. So we got Azza sitting at 100%. We'll see if they push with it.
Yeah, they will pop on the sentry, but going from up there is not going to work. But the sentry gets wrangled, and it gets picked up, so Finland will actually give up the second point towards England. And we'll see if they manage to hold the third now. Finland has the advantage now. We'll see if they can use it aggressive in a way.
Yeah, they're trying to get through this house side, trying to get in there, get somewhere here. As Zoob's contesting them on the upper area, upper deck right now. It's just the heavy and the medic trying to push through. Actually, Spies on the medic here for the English side. Actually takes one rocket down pretty low. Azza down to 28 HP. Just trying to get some, does get the sandwich to keep alive here. But slowly the card's being pushed up here. Level 3 sentry gun is up around the corner for the Finnish side. 100% as well with this Uber. So they're opting, the Finnish are not opting to push too aggressively here. Zoob's doing a really good amount of damage here from that upper area. It does come out actually from the Finns. It's actually in onto the scout. They're actually getting a nice cleanup here. It's 100% on Azza, but not anywhere close as he backs all the way back up to second to keep himself alive and wait for his team to respawn here, as they're going to have Uber advantage and a good chance to push here.
Yeah, they're just going to get respawns right now. They have some good positioning, and then they're gonna go with the Uber. They need to be careful for the sticky trap from Finland. They might be able to get some picks. They need to be very careful for that. And the heavy is trying to push from top. They need to go. They're wasting a lot of time, and they lost actually their heavy, which is not good when you're trying to push. But they do have their demo man. They're gonna go in.
Oh, the drop! The drop is just as Azza was trying to get out of there. Got dropped right there by the spy. That's Kumi. Using that cloak and dagger so wisely here as Engineer's pushing the cart, but that's going to certainly slow them down. As what are you seeing right now, Atomicus, after that fight?
I'm seeing a disaster because I missed that somehow. But indeed, the Finland is now in a very solid spot. They have a level 3 sentry. They have the Uber advantage. They have good positioning. England is bleeding out players. They need to get... They're losing their heavy once again, and this is just terrible.
They just lost their medic again. That was Toba with some stickies right there. So Azza not able to keep alive. Jose sitting at this 100% level 3 sentry. But you know what I'm seeing a lot better out of this game compared to the last game is just the cleanup out of Finland. I mean, it just seems like after every fight, they're just doing such a good job, and I think that's part to do with just Zoob. I feel like he's just in such a good position. He's doing so much spam work here and being such an annoyance. I mean, in this upper area right now, I mean, he's just getting rockets onto everybody, and that just slows you down. If you're taking damage, that slows you down. You don't want to push forward here. And he's keeping himself alive. I mean, he barely took any damage, and he probably put out, 500-600 damage out there. I'd be curious to see if he's topping the leaderboard in damage output right now, as is coming at 75%. So we'll see if the English can find themselves here, as they are struggling on this third point.
Yeah, it's really a hard point to push, especially with the cannonballs, because if you try to push from the cliffside, you can get pushed back from the balls. If you try to push from the main side, again, you're going to get pushed once again, and all that spam can block you completely. So really, you need Uber. You need that Uber in order to be able to push properly. And we'll see if they can eventually do it. They need to be careful not to drop once again and not to lose their Uber. They're trying gently and they get it forced. They're going to use their Uber. We'll see if they can get the Sentry. Sentry gets Wrangle and the Pyro gets Uber. And yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to push this.
I mean, the good thing right now is England are moving the cart. That was a nice job by the Finnish Pyro to air blast Hildreth out of position. The gun was kept up thanks to the Wrangler right there. As the Heavy's trying to contest, the Zoop comes in over the top, tries to get something onto the Heavy here. He's going to go down as Azza decides to run all the way back again to the second point, keeping himself alive. But Jose went down there to a nice snipe from Cloudy, and that might be enough to open this up. It'd be a good time for England to re-push here as everybody's back alive. They do have that respawn advantage. Jose's not at front line yet, but they need to do something. They need to do it quickly as this time is ticking up. 5 minutes and 24 seconds for the first 2 points, and I gotta imagine it's gonna be around 9 minutes by the time, if they even cap this third point, as he'll just getting aggressive.
Yeah, I think what Finland should have done now is get the Sentry a bit more in the back. England is pushing the card gently and easily. They might be able to get it at this point. They need to push to get it to support their card. Zoop going in to get a demo pick. He gets the demo pick. England doesn't have a demo, so it's going to be harder for them to deal with that Sentry. Zoop and in the topper area, and this is, once again, I think it's a good positioning for... But, oh, we get a Pyro Uber from England? And will he get the Sentry? He might get the Sentry. The Heavy's pushing up. Yeah, it seems like England would actually go... Oh, Zoop on the medic! Can he get the medic? He doesn't get the medic. Actually surviving, barely. And somehow England actually did it.
Yeah, Zoop was actually able to land 2 rockets, but... Azza was down to 15 HP, so just barely staying around here. As we have Ass, the scout for the Finns, 14 kill streak right now. Absolutely insane. 14 kill streak on this scout as the level 1 sentry gun up is around the corner. As Kumi trying to find something there was only not actually really able to much, as Azza seen at 25%. Finally find someone to connect with to keep that build up there, as Hildreth did go down as well. But again, the respawns here for the blue side, they're going to be pretty quick, and the spawn's pretty close here, so... It'll be interesting to see, because this was England's... I mean, they've been struggling all game, this game, but last game, it was that last point that they really, really struggled with. 10 minutes through the first 3 points, which is abysmal, and hopefully, if they're lucky, they can do something on this final point right now, as Azza's coming at 85% with a slight Uber advantage.
Yeah, technically speaking, Finland needs to go up. They're gonna lose their demo, and that's not what you want on defense. They don't have a sniper either, and England is taking control of the upper area, and that's exactly what you need for the last point. So Finland at a disadvantage. Blue Uber getting popped by England, and we'll see who gets the better trade-off. Finland needs to use this Uber to get upstairs, take control of that, and we'll see if they can do it, because at the moment England is in a good positioning, and... Unfortunately, the sentry for Finland is still up, so they might be able to defend and hold this properly.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like some back and forth damage output from each team around this main area. It's a little bit of a game of chicken between the demos, trying to just see which one's going to be able to secure the kill first, but neither of them were able to do anything here as Kumi does go down there. Zoop did take down Chewid right there, so the fan favorite of the chat does die. I know, ladies and gentlemen, it is an awful thing, but Zoop is having a game right now, as he did just die there. Azza coming at 80% here. Not a huge enough Uber advantage to actually push off of. It'll end up being a trade here, as it looks like the English combo is holding underneath the point. They're going to opt to push from the stairs side, which is actually a pretty good position to push from, because you can take down that gun fairly early on. Here comes the Uber actually out on the Pyro, trying to separate. The Uber does get counter-popped by Finland. Actually, the Pyro trying to jump them, push the medic into the pit. Not able to connect on that, as he's getting good surf back to spawn there. And all of this fighting went down. All this kind of cuteness of trying to push the medic into the spawn actually didn't allow England to get any ground. So now they're going to look like they're going to get upstairs, try to re-push this dry, as the cart is still pretty far back, and they're being contested pretty hard as well.
England losing Hildreth once again, and they need him to take out that. Finland again keeping their sentry. Zoop upstairs, trying to deal some damage there. getting a pick on their engineer, on the English engineer. Zoop still fighting the heavy right now. Can he get it? He gets it as well, and this is good. Finland needs to go upstairs, and that's exactly what they're going to do, and this is going to put them in a really solid position.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. Zub and Ass, so the Scout and Soldier for Finns, are right now top damaging throughout the entire server, above both demos. So both of them are having crazy games. The flank right now for Finland is going insane here. As we have Uber for each team, it'll be interesting to see how the English push this. As the Spy is actually waiting in a pretty good spot. That's the Finnish Spy. Will he get caught out? Actually decloaks. Looks like he's going for the heavy. No, he's going to get caught in that, and Ass goes down as well. So a couple frags, not enough to really push off of, but English seem also a little bit scared to be able to do anything as well. Sniper is dead here, so that's going to open up for England that they don't have to worry as much, as Hildreth is just trying to get some damage out onto the Finnish combo, maybe try to get a force out. Actually does let two! That is a drop out of Jose, and that's going to open up for English as they are pushing right away here. Looks like they're going to come out the main side. Hildreth doing some damage, going to focus down that sentry gun, which is the only obstacle to this final point. Is able to jump up here. Is he going to be able to contest? Sentry gun does get teleported back, running away, and Hildreth's actually in a very awkward spot right now as the gun's being rebuilt in that lower area. Pyro in on the cart, trying to push it. He's being contested by Zoop in this demo right there, and it looks like this actually might come out in the favor of Finland, despite it. Oh, what a headshot onto Azza there. That's no medic for England. And there we go. Finland, after that horrible drop, or that terrible drop out of Jose, are going to be able to recover this. Really nice job out of them.
Unbelievable. I was not expecting that. I mean, they had Uber. They could take out the sentry. They had the picks. They had everything they needed, but somehow they beefed it. They beefed it, and we'll see if Finland can get it. But Finland is bleeding out players right now. England again going upstairs. We'll see the red engineers using now mini sentry. Zoop going upstairs trying to get the demo pick. He's gonna be taken out eventually. Yes, indeed. And now, yeah, Finland is bleeding out a lot of players. England should be able to do this without any problems. Yeah, not even a demo for Finland, and that's why you need for defense. And they're gonna cap it.
Wow, just barely. Yeah, Jose got lost there at the tail end of that fight. So really nice job out of England there to get that final push in, but not a good time. 14 minutes and 43 seconds for that first round on offense, and that's, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that time, but I think that's just an absolute terrible time. Like, that's going to be incredibly difficult for England to come back to.
It's possible. It's possible if you believe enough. And we do have Zoop and Ast, and they've been doing fantastic work for them. So maybe if they get the right picks at the right moments, then Finland is gonna do it. It's a fantastic, pretty decent time for them, honestly.
I mean, of course, there's always a possibility, but I mean, it's going to be, I mean, you're going to need a great game out of the English side. I mean, every single point was contested from the Finns, I think, besides the first point, which they gave up pretty easily. But that second point defense was, I mean, to me it seemed sloppy, but it kept working. It almost seemed like a last point where you kept losing a fight, but then you ended up kind of winning the post fight, which the Finns have been doing well. And I mean, the post-fight cleanup really comes a lot out of your flank classes, and that's Zub and Ast who've been cleaning up this game here. As we're going to get the Finns now on the blue, on offense, trying to beat the time they set on defense at 14:43 here as they're pushing out the cart, and we'll see if we get any early bombs. The English decided not to do that last game. We'll see as the Delman does find the sticky trap that Hildreth laid on the rock side, as we'll see how the Finns opt to push this.
Yeah, Kumi trying to get some... Oh, not, sorry, Snow trying to get some pick there as a spy, but not doing anything at the moment. And Finland is actually going through the main area, just trying to get some picks here and there. Not really connecting with much. Zup is down for Finland, so he can't do anything as well. But we do have the Finnish spy behind them in the tunnel, so maybe he'll be able to do anything. He's trying to snipe the medic, so I'm not sure if that's the good course of action, because he's going to get detected. And the sticky trap from Finland did not connect with anything either. It's a pretty slow push at the moment.
Yeah, we're actually missing one class. Actually, no, they just reconnected here. So it was Buttnose the Scout, I believe, who is just reconnected to the server. As we got Zub and Kumi trying to coordinate something there, but they got caught out. As you know, it's a little bit harder. As a Pyro's actually on top of the little playground area up here, still up there, but he's going to die to Buttnose. As actually Buttnose died to Ass on this flank side. Sentry Gun's going to be able to contest that, but still no push. And, you know, I generally prefer, like, instead of, like, waiting around so much, actually, here goes the demo over the top. He's going to come around the left-hand side, but he's going to die from the Sentry Gun. Engineer's going to run in as well as Zub, and they both go down. And at this point, you know, I think it's okay to have like 1 or 2 suicide waves, but then it just trade Uber. Trade Uber, then re-push. You have the respawn waves, you have everything in your advantage. There's no reason that you need to gain an Uber advantage to take this point. And hopefully we'll see if the Finns do that as the medic is now committing.
Indeed, they do. Oh, they got force from Finland. We'll see. Well, definitely the advantage will go. Oh, actually, England getting their sentry on the hill right now, and yeah, England would have to go back. They're lost heavy. They lost most of the classes. They bled a lot, and oh my God, the red medic just went down to kill Ahila, the Finnish sniper. And that's exactly what they need right now. They need to keep the momentum going. They have the advantage. They need to be able to use that to push and probably capture the second point.
And as soon as that first point was captured, almost everybody was on a 10-second respawn wave on defense here. So this is going to give Finns an easy time to take the clip, as actually the spy is on the Finnish demo man. Grinjabal might be able to find a kill here. Yes, he does. Toba did go down there. Level 3 sentry gun up. Did get taken out, so it is able to back up here. But the English, again, like, they're holding a little bit passive. They're trying to get at least some contesting on the card and take out the medic and heavy who are standing in Z right now. And looks like England's going to be able to retake this hill. And they might go for a little bit more aggressive hold than what the Finns showed, as actually Hildreth's in a really good spot to spam down the combo. As Zuba actually comes out here, gets the Uber popped on top of him. He's going to try to jump back in, actually stops at the platform, comes over the top. Sentrygun's not shooting anybody, gets one rocket onto the medic. And gets a second! He's able to connect. What a play! I can't believe he stayed alive throughout that. And down he goes, and now this is pretty much Finn's point to take for free.
That was such a good bombing from Zub. Excellent. Connecting with the medic, getting everything he needs, and yeah, this is exactly what Finland needs. I don't think Finland will be able to build in time. They will probably have, but they do have. Let me see. Nope, Finland does not have their demo up, so it's going to be harder for them to push right now. Zub going down to Cloudy, so no shenanigans from the Finnish soldier.
Yes, we are having, Jose does have a slight Uber advantage right now here on the offensive side, so we might see Finland push aggressively. I mean, it is 40% if they keep building at this rate, so in a pretty good spot here to take this third point successfully, but the big thing that they need to do is they need to push this card out. They need to get the objective forward here, as it looks like Finns are just kind of struggling to even get outside this house. Hildreth doing a really good job of spamming the cart and spamming that door, as well as the soldiers. The Uber comes out incredibly early out of the Finnish side. Power doing a good job of air blasting the combo back. He takes a decent amount of damage, finally does go down, but it was enough to be able to at least slow down that push here, as that Uber did virtually nothing, and now Az is going to be sitting at 85%.
On the other hand, Hildreth went down, and Granjabab, it appears Granjabab got back in? They switch spies? Granjabab is in for England right now?
Oh yeah, I guess they did. That was actually, maybe that was a disconnect, as Snow is no longer in here. Sentry is getting sapped, and Uber does come out from the English side here. And what are you seeing, Atomicus, on this defense?
Well, I feel like both teams use the Uber in a very useless way, because they don't really do much with that, but now it's kind of like back to scratch for both teams. Zub jumping in, seeing what he can do, and he's gonna go for the... Oh, no, gets denied by the sentry. No shenanigans once again. And Finland has a good position for how the card is being pushed by now by the engineer. The Red Scout trying to get the engineer, and he pushes him back. But yeah, England should be able to keep this at the moment.
Yeah, they should hold on. That cart's in a really good spot, and actually Jose went down just a little bit ago at a coup there, so the heavy. And so that's actually going to give Azza a little bit of an Uber advantage, but it looks like they're losing a few too many players here on the English side. And look at that cart, it's so close. It just needs one more hill to go up here. And I think the English were not doing a good job when they had that Uber to be able to defend that cart. You want to keep that cart as far back as possible, because it gives you opportunity. And look at how far back the English side are. Nobody's contesting forward. Delman's able to get free, and the engineer is currently pushing this cart for free. Nobody's even contesting it. Here the Uber does come off from the English side. It's going to be popped off, does contest the engineer on the cart. They actually pick up 3-4 kills right there, so really nice job here. But Jose's sitting at 100% now, and they should see a re-push here. Looks like they're going to go in on Zub, gets the Uber. Again, a little bit unconventional here. Ubering the soldier who's trying to jump over the top, gets sniped by the sentry gun as the Delman comes in with a lock and load, able to connect some damage, but not enough to take it down. It's a really good job by the engineer to keep that sentry gun alive. Zub on the backhand side, trying to find some kills inside the house here. As a lot of contesting going back and forth. Finally, it looks like Buttnose is going to try to contest. Actually, the medic down so low. Is Jose going to be able to keep alive here? Is able to dance at 30 HP, but it looks like English are going to give up this point in a very long fight that happened out there, but it looks like it's going to go out in the favor of Finland here. But Azza does have that Uber advantage.
Yeah, England at the moment, they have the positioning upstairs. They're going to try to hold that, hopefully give enough time for the engineer to build up the sentry in the usual position. And yeah, now they have to just hold that upstairs area as much as possible, use the Uber, not drop. I'm expecting Zoob to go from under to jump the medic, so that's what I'm expecting. But at the moment he's dead. He actually went down to Cloudy once again. I feel like Cloudy is on a vendetta against Zoob, but I am really hoping that hopefully they'll do something. Emilio actually going down to the Finnish sniper, so no sentry, except level 1 sentry for England, so they won't be able to upgrade it for now. And we get a force from the blue team right now, trying to get just that level 1 sentry, and they do get it, but they need to go upstairs. Finland getting the Uber popped as well, pushing through the main area, pushing Finland back. And England will continue keeping the upper area, which is what they want. We'll see the aftermath, what Finland decides to do.
Yeah, and here actually it looks like the Finns are going to try to contest it. The heavy did go down, and actually the medic for England is running all the way back to spawn as Zoob's trying to contest Hildreth. That's Azza going down there, who was trying to run away from Zoob, but ended up getting caught out by the sniper there, and that's not looking good as Jose sitting at 50%. The cart's actually being pushed up basically for free here as we have Hildreth over the top. He's actually in a good spot to spam the cart and actually does defend it, so here we go. This is going to give a chance as Azza just about to come back up here, the medic. As Hildreth's going to be contested by this heavy coming upstairs as well here. Actually, Jose's in on it as well, but are they going to be able to retake it as Hildreth's trying to keep himself alive, being contested by the scout, as able to land one rocket, pipe there, but Hildreth did go down, and this is not looking good for the English, as they have 6 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock, and I'd be hard-pressed to believe they're going to hold on to it.
Yeah, we're getting used by the Finnish team, and England only having a level 1 sentry getting cleaned up completely, and Finnish will be able to take it nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of some, I wouldn't say miscoordination. This was a good play by Finns, and they were able to capitalize off the kills that they got, and just really nice job, that final push. I think that was like, what, 6 minutes left on the clock, somewhere around there, so probably about like an 8-9 minute time that the Finns put on offense, comparatively. So, you know, about an average time, maybe a little bit on the slower side of average, but pretty solid all around here, as the first round is going to go in the favor of the Finns.
Indeed, and it seems like you mentioned earlier, like it's all about the aftermath after the Uber exchanges, because it seemed like England had a really good Uber exchange holding that upper area, and then in the aftermath they actually lost the upper area. So it's kind of weird for England. They don't really have that good engagements in the aftermath, and I would recommend hopefully they can sort those things out. And of course, having Zoob and Ast, the scout and soldier from Finland, doing an excellent job helping the team so much.
Yeah, I mean, they were absolutely phenomenal. It just felt like just some better coordination out of the Finnish side, especially on the defense. But I mean, really, if you take Zoob out of the equation for the Finns right there, if you take Zoob out of that last game, I think it would have been much closer. I mean, a lot of the defenses and a lot of the plays, I think, were set up because of Zoob. I mean, even that second push where Zoob came in on 4 players and was able to keep alive and take down Azza, which basically gave up that second point for the Finns without even having to try to push. I mean, I feel like really Zoob is just stepping up his game so much. Obviously, Ast is doing a great job, as well as Zoob and Ast are the top point people right now as I'm trying to get the logs. But just phenomenal game right now out of the Finns, and they're looking incredibly strong.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not sure exactly what happened with Hildreth, because when he joined he had like 11 ping, now he has 100. So I imagine that might hinder his abilities as a demo, but
yeah, very well might. Definitely, especially it's a projectile class, like, being at around 100. I mean, that's definitely going to throw you off. Versus if you're, hit scan, it's a lot easier to not have to worry about it too much. So coming into this, I don't know, what do you feel like England needs to change, Atomicus, to kind of step up their game, or what do you think they could be doing better on offense to be able to get better pushes off, to not have such a slow time?
I would say being more aggressive, because I mean we've seen them not only on defense but offense. On offense they're trying to focus too much on one side, so I would say they need to spread out a bit more, try to take an opportunity to take any pick from every sides. And on defense, they need to keep the ground more spread out in a way. Because, I mean, on third point, they had so much space just left open from Finland to just walk up to their sentry for free.
Yeah, and they just did not take it. Well, and what do you think? I mean, England. I mean, Ezra kind of. I mean, their offense is kind of sloppy. I think their defense wasn't horrible, but was there anything you noticed on defense in particular that you think they could change as well?
I would say the aftermath from the Uber exchanges. Third point was a bit confusing for them by the looks of it. Second point was pretty standard from both teams. Last point, once again, they had a really good hold on the top area, and then in the aftermath they lost it. So I would say pay more attention to Zoob, cover their skies.
Watch
better.
The skies. Yeah, I mean, I definitely
Sky for Superman.
If I was England, I would just like be telling my pyro, which is Gorston, I would just be telling him like, you know what, you're going to be by my side. I don't care. If Zoob is alive, you are next to me. You are looking out for Zoob. That is your job. That's all I want you to do. Because I really think that if Azza stayed alive there throughout a couple of pushes, I mean, it wouldn't have been a great round still. I mean, they still were pretty slow on a couple different points, but it definitely slowed them down a decent amount. And I mean, if you're dying to a soldier that many times, there's clearly something going wrong with the defense here. As we got ready up from both sides, looks like we're going to have the Finns starting out on offense now. I'm sorry, though, that's the English. Shouldn't they change that up? I assume the MP switch teams? Okay, so we should be seeing this. So it should be the Finnish on offense and the English on defense, but I can't tell. They have not done it yet. Everybody's just kind of standing around. I'm kind of trying to figure out if they're actually going to do it or not, because there's a command to do a quick switch on this, and or are they calling this the third round? I'm not confused, but either way, as we're waiting, the countdown is happening in mini centuries. Oh, okay, so it's on Hildreth. There we go, finally! Alright, so there we go. It's going to be the Finns on offense, the English on defense here starting out. And we'll see if the English are able to put up a better time. Again, it was about a 9-minute time defense that they did, so really not the worst thing in the world. But you can definitely, maybe they can step up a little bit more. I feel like they had just a couple bad moments that last round here, as we're seeing this early stuff coming out. And I don't know, did you have any thoughts from the first point defense last time from England? Anything that you noticed that maybe they could do differently or do better or anything like that, Atomicus?
Well, center positioning is pretty common. It seemed like they prefer to have it more in the back, and I can't really say that having the sentry more aggressive really helps. It didn't really help Finland when they had it. It went down quite fast, quite early in the match. So I would like the center to be placed a bit more to the right, cover the main area, but maybe they're afraid of direct hit soldiers, so it might go well for them. We'll see what happens.
So here we go. Gates are down. Finns are going to be coming out here. Hildreth has a sticky trap over the right side door, but that's going to be called out there. No damage is going to be done to the Finns here. As the spy is getting ready to get into position, Demo Man slowly walking up with the cart. Usually you don't see bombs and stuff, but oh, Cloudy takes down Toba. The hugest of deals until he gets back up, and the cart still needs to get pushed up, but at least if there was any idea of doing a bomb, it's going to be a little bit later now. As, yeah, just slowly getting that card up here, and we'll see kind of what happens next. Is it just kind of that slow first point push?
Slowly pushing the card, gently, inch by an inch, and we have the Finnish demo trying to go and jump from the right side, but not really connecting with anything. Q9 struggling with the enemy scout from England, and she goes down. And right now England has dropped Granchabob and Chewie and Buttnose, so they don't have any flanks. We'll see if Finland will try to push from right side. They will be able to push and try to at least get a force. See if they can manage to connect anything at the moment. England's sitting and they got respawns. Right now it seems like Finland will actually get their medic outside. We'll see if they will drop or if they will be able to use it. Uber comes from Finland towards the sentry. Counterpop will go soon from England. Indeed, they will. Sentry has been destroyed. Oh no, it's actually still behind. Oh no, it's still there. It's still, okay.
So new sentry is going up here as it looks like at the counter, or both Ubers were popped there. As just gonna see, but Hildreth, I'm sorry, none of the English players did go down there during that after that exchange or during this post fight right now. as we've seen a lot of aggression up from the Finnish side, trying to push up through the flank and now onto the cart here as a scout on the playground area up top, trying to do something. Level 2 sentry gun is way in the back. Zoop trying to jump over the top, trying to get some rockets down, getting some decent spots, but now the medic Azza has to be careful here. He sees running back through the hill, able to get out alive, but they got lost so many in the process there, and you got to question holding in there after that point. Only 3 alive here, and they're all on cliff. Devilman, actually that's Toba, trying to find something onto Azza, but fortunately was able to get out far enough here, as the Finns have taken this second point cliff here, basically for free, but we do have the soldier here on the English side defending the cart, but we'll see here, as actually the Uber is popped off from the Finns around the corner, trying to find something as his counter pop comes off onto England. It looks like the Finns had a pretty bad choice there, as Toba did go down, as well as I believe the spy as well. It's actually Scout Buttnose way back there, taking down Jose, and this is going to be a nice job out of England. I just feel like a little bit too aggressive on the Finnish side there.
Yeah, no, I think that was fine because they took the sentry, they had the Uber advantage, but losing their heavy to the spy to Granger Bob, that was a pretty big disadvantage for them, and it hindered them overall towards their push and with Uber. And we see a very aggressive sentry right on the hill from England, which I'm not sure if that's going to help them much, but I do like this aggressive positioning from them. We'll see though if they can keep up this advantage on the hill.
Yeah, and this is almost exactly the standard hold from the North American side. You have your medic right behind the rock. Sentry gun's a little bit more aggressive than what you normally would see, but the idea that you can be holding forward aggressively. The reason I guess I would say that I didn't like to push on the Finns previously is that your cart is so far back that if you don't win that fight, like, you're going to be put at a disadvantage, and that's exactly what happened. Is they didn't win the fight post Uber because they didn't have enough people forward, because there were so many people back on the card. Your flank classes back there as Cloudy does go down, but so does Toba. So no Devilman here on the offense, but the Snipe can have a little bit of free range as Zoob's trying to find something. But wow, a lot of just kind of back and forth trades here in terms of damage dealing, as Azza eats one rocket from a decent range. Sentry gun is being kept up, doing some decent damage here, as Hildreth is trying to contest the hill. The Finns are trying to take as much free ground as they can. Zoop trying to jump over the top, trying to find something here, as a lot of back and forth going down, and Toba does go down as well. Uber actually does come out onto Azza, trying to find something. Counter Uber comes down to Jose, as the Pyro's trying to air blast him off the cliff. Is he able to find it? Yes, Jose goes down off the cliff, and Azza is able to keep alive, and the English should be able to hold on to this point.
Oh my god, that is just hilarious, but we're glad we got it. And oh my god, the Hildreth went down to the Finnish sniper as well, so now we're gonna see what's gonna get. England sniper does have overheal, so you should be able to... Oh, Granger Bob actually getting the Finnish sniper as well, so this is good for England, but they have bled out enough players. Zoop going down to Cloudy, and at the moment, it seems like they just lost pretty much most of their players, and Finland should be able to capture this as soon as they regroup and then push out. England doesn't have a sentry, their engineer is dead. Oh no, he actually just got up, but he's already building near spawn. I assume to build to go and carry to the third point at this stage.
Yeah, and this is a wise decision out of the English. They lost Hildreth early on in that last fight, then they lost their heavy. But the big thing is their medic is getting out alive. They're getting reset here. There's no real reason to try to contest second here, as Hildreth actually is the furthest one forward right now. I think he's got a sticky trap, or he's trying to do something here. A little bit, just got to make sure you don't want to be too cute here, as losing your Devilman in this situation would be absolutely horrible. It's actually he's being contested by the Scout, and he does go down there. And that's going to open up here for the Finns, as they do have Uber on each side, but they do have Uber to push in with, and no Hildreth for another 10 seconds.
Yeah, Uber getting forward or popped by the Finland team, counter pop from England, and they're going to push them out, but England doesn't have a demo, so the aftermath will go to work. Oh, the England's engineer just went down to Kumi, and the sentry got sapped as well, so no sentry for England. No soldier for England, no engineer, and Finland should be able to push England out from the third point. Oh, they lost their demo man, but even so, they should be able to contest this and eventually cap the point, because the card is getting pushed gently during this exchange, and that's what Finland needs right now.
The English did have a chance here to defend this, as the cart was, I mean, it's so long to push up here, but they lost a couple too many here, as it looks like England are going to just opt to fully back out onto this final point. I'm going to be curious to see what the time is going to be through the first 3 points, probably around 6 minutes here, as both medics about even in Uber charge right now, as the cart's finally going to go down, and we'll see, we got a level 1 sentry gun kind of going in the upper area dispenser, obviously in the blocking spot, as we have English holding again in the upper area as they like to. 6 minutes 22 seconds for the first 3 points.
Kumi already behind the enemy lines. The decision is now if he wants to go for the... Ooh, okay, Cooper just died to the Finnish scout. Again, the Finnish scout doing so much work, going in, getting the picks that the team needs, and we get an Uber exchange on the top area. We'll come on top of it. It seems like England wouldn't be able to still contest the area, and that is okay, but we'll see the aftermath. Once again, we do have Toba trying to contest a little bit, but he is by himself, and it seems like he's gonna give up eventually.
Yeah, it's a good job here out of the main area. Actually, Toba doing a good amount of damage, helping take down some people as he takes on Chewid right there. As Grenjabob and Buttnose also went down. So we got a Zoob actually jumping up through that kind of cheeky area. I actually really like that jump out of Zoob. Wasn't able to connect very much damage here as Gorston tried to defend his team. As the upper area still being held, Jose went down to 2019 HP. He actually got on fire there.
Oh,
actually,
Zoob getting the medic pick!
As well as Gorston gets Jose right there. So each medic went down within about a couple seconds of each other. And what are you seeing right now after that?
Well, Hildreth is down, they don't have a medic, Gorston is down, so maybe they're gonna be able to get Kumi, maybe we'll get the sentry, but he's actually just sniping with the ambassador, trying to get Cooper from the opposite side. The English scout is struggling right now on the card and he gets down, and Finland has control of the upper area, so this is an advantage for them. Sentry is being built in the normal spawn on the left side, the heavy is left as well. Oh, Kumi going for the... Oh my god, he actually gets detected right at the last second. They're very close. And they need to change the sentry because the demo can just spam the left area on top of there easily.
As Chewid actually takes down Jose right there, as looks like they're trying to take out the upper area. So that's going to give Azza a nice Uber advantage here, and I'll be kind of curious. Actually, Buttnose coming up there, taking down the demo, taking down the sniper, and now it's only the scout on the card who should be killed by the spy here. But really nice job out of England to be able to hold this point. And you know what?
Oh my god, so close though.
So close as Azza was down there pretty low, and everybody's trying to get on top of the cart, but the sentry gun doing its job on a 5-kill streak, actually 6-kill streak right now. That sentry gun is, as Azza's coming at 90%, should have 100% here. They might be able to contest it since the sentry gun does go down there from the heavy play. Scout in on the cart, trying to cap it. Hildreth does get the Uber popped off on top of him. Actually, the medic really overextended here right now. Jose's actually going to fall underneath the floorboard to get away. It's just the scout in onto demo. Actually, Hildreth does go down there, and that's going to open up for the Finnish side who are trying to push through the main area. Soldier trying to do something as Toba did go down there as well as a scout and engineer trying to get on the cart, but good defense out of the Pyro and scout from the English side to be able to defend that. And here we go, as it's only 3 alive here, and just the sniper and medic on the cart. Are they going to be able to cap at level 2? Sentry gun not able to shoot them, and they are going to be able to push it over. Nice job, recognition out of the sniper and medic there to be able to push that cart, realizing what position they were in. So nice job, 9 minutes and 27 seconds for the Finns.
Much better time than before, and I guess it's around the same time because they had extra time from their defense, so I guess around 9 minutes was the last time as well that it took them to cap.
Roughly around there, yeah. And I mean, I don't know, so what did you think about Finland's last offense in general? Do you think like they kind of improved, same, different from the first round?
Well, I think it was mostly part of England because at the last push when they exchanged the Uber, for some reason Acid just disconnected from the demo and he went all around the pit and then he connected with the heavy, which was like so much heal just wasted. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, and Hildreth went down afterwards, and from there was just it went downhill pretty badly for England.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing I'm seeing England's side on defense is it just feels like Hildreth he's just trying to step up. I think he's trying to make plays, but the problem is he ends up being the furthest one forward and dying. And not having your demo man on defense is just, I mean, that is the biggest thing, especially on upward where there's so many points with the spam ability of demo is so viable. As the gates do open up, we're going to have the English starting out here on offense as the Finns are on defense here on red. 9 minutes and change, about 9:27 I believe it was set by the Finns. The Englands are trying to beat as Demo Man and Soldier trying to jump over the top. Hildreth is trying to find something. He's actually on the backside of the hill as Kunai and Ass do go down there fairly early on. Spy does get caught out there, but the Uber did get forced out onto Jose, who I'm surprised that his health is so good, but the Uber did force now Buttnose in a good position, as well as the sentry gun did go down, so they gotta be careful here. Look at Hildreth still fairly aggressive, but the cart is moving forward. Finns are backing up, and Azza still has 100%.
I'm not sure what happened because, in case you didn't notice, Finland was actually using mini sentries for defense, and that's why England was able to be so aggressive on the hill. So I'm not sure what happened. if they can't switch their loadouts, if the engineer is stuck with the mini sentries, but this is definitely a disadvantage. But we'll see if they can make it work out. At the moment, they're holding on the cliff. They're keeping their sniper over hill, so hopefully they'll be able to keep the hill for themselves. For now, we see if England will be able to push. They do have the advantage. They have Uber. They're holding at the moment with the medic in tunnel. They need to regroup, pushing that, and they're actually going to get forced or just used through the tunnel. But it's only the pyro and the demo man. Not sure if they're going to connect with much. The Finnish medic still alive, and they did get Uber. Hildreth trying to get some damage done on the Finnish heavy, but he's getting pushed out. And at the moment it's just a reset. We'll see if they can push this through the aftermath. Uber getting forced from the Finnish team. They're going uphill. Zub going so aggressive. Kenny gets the rocket. Oh my god, one more rocket would kill the English medic, but he actually escapes. So close from getting the medic pick.
Now English are in a pretty good spot. Actually, the spy for the Finns is just eyeing up the medic right now as Hildreth jumps in, using his sticky bomb launcher here, trying to actually use that right now to do some damage to the enemy combo. As actually Jose was down to 7 HP, but able to surf out of there. In English, everybody's alive right now. Second point's going to go down in their favor here as the heavy is the furthest one forward with the help of Hildreth. 67% as they're at a slight Uber disadvantage, but not enough to be concerned about here. As it looks like the English are just trying to get aggressive right away. Kumi did get caught out there. That's a spy for Finns right now, as the demo man trying to just, for the Finns, are trying to just get out some damage, trying to hold back the enemy team here, as we are pushing up the cart right now, doing a good job, and the Finns are a little bit far back. I'm kind of surprised by this, as will we see the Uber pop. It does come out from the English side first, as the Hildreth are trying to get out some damage. Mini sentries, they are still stuck on here due to the item server. Uber does get counter pop onto the Finnish side. Much better Uber actually in on the scout, chasing down the heavy right here, as Asa did go down as well during that fight to Kunai. That's heavy. As a soldier for England is trying to jump over the top, is able to land one rocket onto Jose, but it didn't do that much damage here, as the card is pretty far back, and this fight looks like it's going to come out in the favor of the Finns.
Definitely good use of their scouts from the Finnish team, using their speed, using his advantage, his DM skills to be able to clean up the enemy team. And it's so weird because it seems like Hildreth is, not Hildreth, sorry, excuse me, Emilio is using normal sentries while Finland is defending with mini sentries. It's so weird. I don't know what's happening right now.
I think they're
it's
stuck on items, or they can't change.
That would make sense, but isn't that weird, only the engineers?
Well, no, but because other classes probably don't care. They probably stay the same offense.
True.
But yeah, so Jose's gonna have a slight Uber advantage here. And what are you seeing? I mean, what are you seeing out of kind of each side, or any kind of comments about like the pushing in or defense or offense from either team?
Well, England had a really good momentum, but at the moment it seems like it's a bit stalemated for them. Both teams have Uber at the moment, so we'll see which one will get a bigger advantage. Zub holding the upper area as always. It seems like he's actually going to get out now. Probably needs some ammunition. And we'll see a Uber from England trying to contest counterpop from Finland, and once again using the scout to clean up, and that's pretty good. But Uber still being held by both teams at that moment, so they couldn't really do much. But England getting pushed out. Chewie went down, Bodnose went down, so they don't have any classes to push the card except the engineer, who might actually die under. He's fighting the pyro, and down he goes. So now we have the English sniper trying to contest a little bit. He goes down as well. And Kumi is staying alive, but barely. Oh, the English demo man Hildreth going down once again to Kilahili. Keep forgetting about his so easy to pronounce name. But yeah.
Actually, I want to say that was a little bit of misplay out of the fan favorite again, Truid, on the cart. So the cart was pushed up almost the entire way up that first ramp, the backwards ramp. So as soon as you walk off the cart, it rolls back down the hill. Truid pushed up the cart all the way to the very top, and then he walked off of it, so it rolled all the way back down. So all the work that they put in, the car would be in a much better spot right now, and England needs every advantage they can get, as they are at 4 minutes and 11 seconds to be able to push the final 2 points. And this cart is so far back right now. They have to do something special here to get through, as Hildreth is doing a good job of spanning out that Z corner here from this third point. The sentry gun is still on minis here, as they are stuck on it. Uber does come out from the English side. Actually, Toba goes down there from a nice snipe by Cloudy, and that's going to open it up here as Uber does come out onto the scout. They're going to try to chase down as Zoob's jumping in over the top, tries to find a rocket onto Asa. Finally finds one, but that's not enough, as the scout is trying to go all the way back. Is he able to find anything? No, he's actually going to stay alive there. That is the Finnish scout, way behind enemy lines, but he is at 7 HP. see. If he finds anything here, it'll be a miracle. As he's trying to get something on the cart, does get one shot onto Asa here, but the cart's being moved up, and that's what they need. Even if you don't get the kills, you need to get that objective. Sentry gun does go down here, but this is looking good for the English side to be able to cap this point.
Indeed, Toba went down to Bob, so no demo from the Finnish team at the moment. So yeah. Oh, and Matex actually went down as well to Cloudy. So yeah, they don't have a demo, neither a engineer. So it's going to be pretty hard for them to set up properly on last. We have Hildreth trying to spam the Finnish team from top, but England actually bleeding out a lot of players due to Toba and their sniper. So this might give them enough time to actually set up on last in a proper way and holding the upper area as well, which is what they really need. They have the advantage. They might want to use it aggressively, but the advantage is not that big, so we'll see if they can hold the upper area.
So here we go, Granger Bob and Chewed going down basically at the same time here. Actually, that was a dead ringer. I got caught out by that myself. As it looks like English are going to be pushing from that lower area up the stairwell as Hildreth's trying to contest the mech. Actually, looks like the Uber does finally get popped off onto an Uber. Does get counter-popped from the Finnish side onto Kunai. The heavy right there, as nothing really is happening. I guess they just wanted to go in and trade and probably do a repush. Here comes Hildreth again, actually getting some nice stickies up there. Not able to find too much damage, as the spy is actually coming in to help him out, but he doesn't see the pyro behind him. Hildreth does drop down, as it's going to be this really awkward fight going on in this corridor right now. As a Notes team is really, it looks like actually the Finns are going to back off here and give it up to England here. 2 minutes left in the clock, and that's exactly what England wanted out of the situation, to overtake that.
Indeed, and this is going to be really hard for them to push or to defend. The Zub is down, Us is not up, so they're not going to have any shenanigans from the flanking classes. English team holding the top area with Cooper, and Finland holding really back to their spawn. Oh, the engineer went down to Kumi. But they'll be able to push the start, as Toba is having quite a difficult moment at the moment to keep that card. And we have an Uber force from the Finnish team trying to keep that. But oh my god, that was so close from England to keep the point. And we get another Uber from England this time. And the Finnish team is bleeding out so many players. They need to connect. Toba goes down. They're trying to push that card. Zub goes in, and finally they actually kept the point.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite the cluster. Actually, what I really liked out of the English side there on that final push was the patience out of their players. You know, I talked about this in previous casts on Upward, and I've talked about this when it comes to pushing in Highlander. But a lot of times when it comes to pushing in Highlander, it's not about the Uber. It's about the post-Uber fight. And so a lot of people, when they push with Uber, they'll get too aggressive, they'll get too deep into a fight, and they'll actually be overexposed as soon as the Uber is up, because even if you kill 2-3 people in an Uber, there's still 6 people on a team who can focus you down. And if you're a main core class, that's definitely going to work against you. And that final push right there, actually the Demo and Heavy and Medic were holding an upper area, and they never moved down. They just kept up there. They just kept doing damage out onto the point, contesting the Finns from an upper area, and just kind of doing anything that the Finns did. They were taking damage, kind of like a big fat sentry gun, basically. And I really like that play out of the Heavy. That was Cooper. So really nice job out of them. Really smart play. Very good patience. And that ultimately let them capture that point, as they ended up getting enough kills, securing them. As they put up about an 8-minute time or so, maybe somewhere around there, which is drastically better than their initial time, which was 14 minutes. So England looking pretty good here as we're coming out onto this third point. I don't know, what were your thoughts? Anything you noticed, or any standout players from that last round?
Well, I feel like Bob picked. He did quite some work. He got some picks on the demo man when they needed to get those picks. So he has his focus in his mind. He knows what he needs to be doing. And I'm really surprised, and like Finland just gave up the top area so easily, like just from an Uber exchange. And I'm really surprised that Kunai is actually using the Tomislav, as in you don't really need that accuracy on Upward since it's a payload map. So it's quite surprising for me to see her using that weapon, but yeah.
I mean, I think it's like when it comes to like the Tomislav and Natasha, I mean, I think you kind of talked about this, I think, in the last cast on Viaduct, that you definitely have a soft spot in your heart for the Natasha over the Tomislav. And I don't, I'm not a heavy main. I don't play heavy. But talking to some of the heavies, it feels like it's kind of like almost like a preference thing. Like, even though the Tomislav may be reduced in some of the stat areas, like might allow you to play more aggressive or something like that. I mean, any heavy mains in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely think that it can be a disadvantage, but if it fits your playstyle, it can be better, potentially. Here as we have the English side setting up here on the defense, and the Finns are going to be on offense here as this is a third round. But wouldn't the... I guess they would get to choose about who gets to go what. Because I was going to say, English should have had the fastest push there. But yeah, so...
yeah, I guess they decided to defend.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting here. So, what are you seeing here as the gates are opening up? Talk me through what you're seeing on the Finnish side.
Well, Granger Bob is just chilling on the rock at the moment. He's not really going aggressive or anything. We do have a couple of stickies right next to him. Kumi is going on the right flank. Pretty standard play at the moment. We'll see if he connects with anything. Toba going the main area together with Kunai, and Toba going down to a couple of pills from Hildreth. Ooh, Zub is going in. Can't really do much. Got completely denied by the sentry. And we'll see if Granger Bob can do anything on the English side, going even back more on the roof.
Yeah, so here we go in. It looks like Jose's still in spawn. No, he's finally walking out with this team, so it looks like we're going to see a trade here pretty shortly here, as Toba's going to be the furthest one forward. Santu does go down from a nice snipe by Cloudy here, as Uber does finally come out from the Finnish side, and we're going to see how long they can hold up. Finally, the English do pop off. They're going to actually have about a 40% better Uber here, as the Spy was trying to coordinate a stab there, but wasn't able to find anything, as Emilio did go down, so that's no engineer here for the defense, so it's going to make it pretty easy for the Finns to take this down, as they're re-pushing right now, and I think the English realize what bad of a situation they're in, and so they do finally back off, as they were down about 3 players, including Hildreth, and not having a demo man on defense is always going to be a downside, as Cloudy opening up the sniper game, winning that duel, as the Finnish are pushing the cart right now, even Ubers, and the English are holding aggressively on the hillside again, kind of that NA style, right behind the rock with the medic.
Yeah, they can definitely afford it. They won the sniper battle, so that means the Finnish team won't be able to afford to get on top of the on the hill area. We have Kumi trying to gently push towards the English team. Zub trying to push in, but he jumps into the building and then he gets completely denied. We have a duel between the 2 scouts, and Ast actually getting on top of that, but barely. And I don't know about anything keeping this close. It's kind of dangerous right now.
It just depends on if they can get him about. But Hildreth right now is doing crazy amounts of damage. And actually, I think he forced off the Uber because they were worried about losing their Demo Man and Heavy, who are incredibly low. The counterpop does come off from the English side here, but it's not going to be able to really do anything, because I think they just Uber just synced simply because they saw Uber being popped. Spy tries to make a play onto the English medic, as the Finns are going to be pushing up this Z section. But that's really dangerous when you got a Hildreth head right there, putting out so much damage onto the combo, and they're going to have to back off. Yes, that is true. You cannot push through a choke when a demo's standing right there, as the Finns opt to back out and analyze where they want to push from now, as this English hold is still holding on.
Once again, Cloudy actually winning the duel against the Finnish sniper, and this can just go on and on and on. They need to get either the demo pick or the sniper pick. If you don't have the sniper pick, if you don't have the advantage, you won't be able to get on top of the hill, and if you don't have the demo advantage, you're not going to be able to push through the tunnel. So at the moment, it's quite a stalemate situation from Finland, and they need to get some picks really quick, the important picks, in order to be able to afford pushing. And we have a force through the tunnel. An engagement between the 2 teams. The Finnish soldier just fell off the cliff, Zub. And it seems like Finland is bleeding out a lot of players. They don't have Toba, they don't have their Spy, and yeah, without a demo you're not going to be able to push that well at all. And England still holding the hill in a very aggressive way.
Yeah, and I mean, this is exactly like why this hold can turn out so well, is anybody who tries to contest you, you're able to contest them first. You're able to put out damage before they're able to take any free ground. I mean, that's really, in Highlander, positioning is everything, and not allowing the other team to gain free positioning is what is best here. As the sentry gun is in the lower area, Azza is actually down to 64 HP, disconnected with the Heavy, who does go down. Hildreth down in kind of an awkward spot as well with Azza, who's just trying to get out alive, as Cloudy does die and lose that sniper battle here. And now they're going to be holding a little bit more passive. They got to be careful. Jose is at 100%. We should see an Uber out of the Finns fairly shortly as Spy is trying to make a play on the medic, but gets caught out there. Uber does get popped. Jose, I guess, a little bit scared by that Spy. Got down to 86 HP as the counter pop does come out onto Hildreth, who's much, much better here. Pearl actually WM1ing into the combo, trying to find something, not able to find a flare. Jose down to 100 HP, but able to keep alive here as the Pyro, is he going to be able to get out of that? How did the Pyro get out of that for the English side? Is Hildreth trying to recontest this hill area? Is about even in numbers, but a lot of low health in the Finns' favor. And we'll see if the English are going to be able to hold aggressively here. What are you seeing right now, Atomicus?
Oh, this is risky. This is risky because the English team does not have a sniper, so they're going to have to abandon this point completely, I think. And I feel like Kumi is doing... Oh, he's probably disturbing them from behind. And yeah, Finland will be able to take out the point nice and easy. England should start preparing now for the third point. I'm not sure. I mean, they're holding here just for a little bit, for a while. And then hopefully they're gonna. Badno is actually going down for England, so no scout there. And Kumi starting to get in position for some shenanigans.
And Hildreth holding aggressively again. Nice job by Grenjabob taking down Zub, who is trying to find a good position here. As Jose and Azza are both staying at 100%, trying to figure out what they want to do. Very aggressive hold out of the medic right now, as well as the demo. For the English side here, as Uber does come off fairly early from Jose. Trying to find the dome and actually gets disconnected. Good air blast by the Pyro, as actually Toba gets caught out there. Now the Pyro trying to air blast the medic into a bad position. Jose's actually running underneath the second point and able to keep alive against Skortson there, who is a little bit maybe too aggressive with his pushing in there. But finally, the trade did come off, and English are still in a good position. Level 2 sentry gun up around the corner, and Cart is pretty far back.
Yeah, and Finland seems to be trying to push the car gently at the moment. I think Chewy was on top of the area, but he got pushed out, and it seems like Finland is going to try to push dry at the moment. They do have advantage, but I don't think they're going to need it that much. They need to be careful because it is very spammy. They're trying to get in, the Kunai gets pushed out, so they have... Oh, and Gorston actually going for the finished medic, but he doesn't connect with the medic, so the medic survives. And it seems like England, they're trying to get the advantage, the Uber advantage, but not really connecting with the finished medic. Toba actually getting some stickies towards their sentry, and the sentry gets sapped. Uber gets forced. Counterpop from the England team, but England doesn't have the players that they need, and us actually getting an Uber saw on the Finnish demo man to survive even more. And the medic goes down from the Finnish team, so England back to a small advantage right now.
That was so lucky out of Azza and so skillful. 100% skill, 100% luck. To get an Uber saw, so bold to do that. But I think that is the only reason that Az is alive right now. Also holding on to about a 30% Uber advantage, give or take here, as the English are resetting on this upper area. 6 minutes and 49 seconds for the first 3 points, which is, I'd say, pretty solid. You're going to be at least making a 7-minute time. Obviously, it's not going to be short here. As the Finnish are trying to figure out what they want to do, is that actually Uber advantage growing ever so slightly, as it'll be interesting to see how the Finns do this, or how they push up here, because every time the English have held up here, it's been pretty hard for the Finns to do anything. As it looks like they're trying to do something. Actually, Zub's going to do this cute little jump from the lower area. He's trying to figure out what time he wants to do on it. Finally opting to back out here, and look at the Finns. They're all swarming around. The Finns are in the shark, and Hildreth goes down to a nice snipe from the Finnish sniper here. Uber actually does get forced out to not drop the heavy here, as they did lose their, I believe, their pyro as well here. And so, now Azza just left alone with the heavy, and oh my goodness, so many frags coming out in the favor of the Finnish side. Uber does come out as well, as it's popped onto the soldier, into the scout. Level 3 sentry gun is still alive here, and holding onto the point, and that's basically the last hope they have. Soldier is jumping in on the cart from the English, defending that, as Hildreth is in a good spot from the balcony, spamming down onto the cart, but the Finns are looking incredibly good right now. Zub actually jumping over the top, gets one rocket onto Hildreth, but he's going to be able to get back into spawn as... Buttnose was able to back off. Pyro on the cart doing a great job of reflecting these stickies. Is he going to be able to cap it? No, he goes down at the last absolute second here. But still, English is not looking good right now. Level 3 sentry gun is still alive, and that's the big thing, as a scout does cap the cart. My goodness. I did not think the Finns were going to be able to pull out of that, but 8 minutes and 32 seconds, that's a great time. And what did you see, Atomicus? What do you think went well for the Finns there on that final push?
Well, getting definitely, like, it was, you could see the coordination from the Finnish team. Zub was waiting on there, he was just spamming a couple of rockets, see what he can find over there, and then the demo, Toba went on top of the stairs, distracting the main combo, and then Zub came behind. They got the force they needed, and then they had the Uber, they pushed in with the Uber, they took control of the top area, and they kept that control. They had their heavy on the top area, and from there it was quite easy.
Yeah, I mean, really just nice play out of them here as we got a level 3 sentry gun finally up. Last time the Finns were forced to play with mini sentries due to item server being down. So they do have a level 3 sentry gun up. It's in the spot that they do like to play at here as yeah, just kind of getting set up right now. And 8 minutes and 32 seconds, definitely, I wouldn't say an easy time to hold. You can definitely be beaten, but it's going to be on the English really to set the pace of the game, and we'll see how they do that out the gate. England have been opting not to do bombs in early on. They tend to like to take some ground and then do bombs later on, as Hildreth is going to come out the gate here with the heavy from the right-hand side. The sniper, the Finnish sniper, trying to find something here. As what are you seeing Atomicus early on here in this push out from England?
Well, Emilio is still opting to go for normal sentries, trying to build a building a level 1 sentry on the right side. And we have a demo jump from behind, but he gets completely denied by Toba with a cannonball. Goodbye.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Toba there as the card is slowly rolling up here. Medic's still in spawn here for the offense. As a nice snipe by Kumi, that's a spy taking down Chewit as Gorston and Hildreth also went down. So finally Hildreth is going to come back alive, is able to re-push this, and we'll be seeing if we're just going to see an Uber exchange here as all the respawns are back up. Actually, no, Hildreth is going to go for another bomb, and he's actually coming in over the top, trying to do a double sticky jump, not able to connect here. Actually gets some nice job by him taking down the sentry gun as well as the engineer, so that's going to make it a little bit easier. Only 10 seconds before he comes back alive here, but that's not going to matter because it looks like the English are getting fairly aggressive. Pyro on top of the playground, getting a nice kill as the Uber did get popped by the Finnish. I'm not really sure why. The medic did not take any damage in that moment, so it looks like they might have been scared from something. I'm not quite sure, but Jose's going to back up here with the tail between the legs, and 7 minutes on the clock, and this is looking pretty good for the English at 100% Uber.
Yeah, maybe a miscommunication from the Finnish team, but Kilahila actually getting the blue heavy. But yeah, blue team actually has the Uber advantage right now. They do have Uber. They will need to be able to take advantage of this. Cloudy actually getting the dual, getting the sniper pick from the Finnish team. So they pretty much have everything what they need, and they decided to push from the tunnel. The Finnish Pyro actually doing quite a good job denying the Uber completely, so they could still win this. They could still hold it for a while. The demo, Hildreth just went out for England, and at the same time Toba asked, and most of the players from Finland has gone down. So, but they do have a level 3 sentry. They do have the Uber advantage, and they might be able to hold this quite nicely.
Yeah, so here we go. Some spam coming down from the heavy who's trying to get into this double window area. Again, the Finns play incredibly defensively on the second point, but as I said that here, they do pop the Uber actually fairly aggressively. Actually, as it's in a very awkward spot, Zoop finally does take him down. Heavy and Pyro now also caught behind enemy lines here, as it's just the Heavy who's the furthest one forward. He should go down. Actually, no! Coop gets the better of that between Zoop, and he's going to run away with the Fist of Steel. Is he going to be able to get out alive? No, he's dancing, but not enough for his life here, as the card is actually pretty close. It's almost in spy cap range. But this again is the difference between the Finns and the English, is that when the Finns win a fight, they opt to back up. They don't try to hold aggressively. They always try to play around their sentry gun. In that situation when they had 100% Uber, that was kind of good because they baited England in. But now we're going to be at even Uber. The card is so close. It is rolling backwards, but look at how much ground England is taking for free. Zoob's looking to get in a good spot right here. He's in the house area. The Pyro's actually going to come and meet him. Is he going to be able to get a reflex? Zoob just opted to jump out of that window here. Scout does touch that card. Stops it from rolling backwards here, as we should just see some back and forth right now between the two teams.
Oh, we see a bombing from two. Actually, oh my god, dealing so much damage. And getting the sentry, that is such a good jump, and England should be able to take advantage of this and actually cap the point at this stage. Finnish being forced to push back, and they get actually forced to use an Uber, but it's only the demo. They won't be able to do much with this.
Yeah, and they gotta be careful here. Yeah, what are you seeing after this post-Uber? Actually, I thought the Pyro was going to be able to do something here, but now the Finns medics are a little bit caught on able to get away there, but English are going to come down with this point.
Yeah, once again, Chewie just jumping all the way from uphill and getting a sniper pick. This is pretty good. Zub is down, Toba is down, the defending team does not have a demo man, and England can just keep the momentum. They need to use this momentum. Finnish teams only have a level 1 sentry. Uber comes from the English team. They're gonna go drop down. They need to be careful for the spy. Spy gets caught up. The English heavy is trying to go in the upper, in the drop down area, but he's eating someone now, and maybe Finland can actually take advantage of this and push them back. They're in a very choky area right now, getting completely spammed by Toba, but they're still keeping this position right now. Again, oh, Kunai, no, Cooper actually going down, and us trying to get a hold. Zub jumping into the top area, and it seems like Finland will be able to go. Oh, the Toba just went down. The sentry gets unsapped, and it seems like Finland will be able to keep it going. Great job going on Kunai and gets the pick. No heavy and demo man for the defending team.
The good thing here, England did get this cart pushed up pretty far here, so it's only a couple slopes away from being able to get to that point here as Cloudy wins that sniper battle once again. As actually seen at 100% Uber here as they're getting ready to push up this hill. Hildreth is holding pretty close. Finally, are they going to pop it? No, they're holding on for an incredibly long time. Looks like they're going to go through Z here on the third point as Hildreth is they're trying to figure out what they want to do, but that cart's being pushed up for free here as it's not being contested. Finally, Uber does come off here, but Jose is going to have the counter pop here pretty shortly. Yes, it does finally come off. Sentry Gun is still alive. Finally actually gets teleported out of there with like 1 HP of health as the scout's getting bounced off from this cart, and Hildreth's actually pretty far back, as well as a heavy's trying to hold the furthest one forward, but Az is going to be able to get out of that alive here. But a lot of players went down on the English side, but are they able to recover? A lot of low health here for the Finns as they're holding pretty far back. Cloudy trying to get aggressive here. The cart is ×2 and does get over that final hurdle. Scout's actually going to try to sneak cap this. Toba's going to be able to aggressive, trying to contest this, but actually here comes the scout trying to do something, but not able to connect here. But the sniper is going to end up capping this cart, and that's what this game's all about. It's the objectives, not as much the frags here, as England doing a really good job of moving that cart.
Excellent for England, and if you have not noticed, Grandpa doing so much work. He stayed alive during that entire duration. He got a sniper pick, he got a pyro pick. He was just distracting the enemy and just being a pain in the butt. And that is exactly what you want as a spy. And getting again Kunai top area, so no heavy for the Finnish team defending up there, so the medic will have to back down. The demo man gets it. Oh my god! Everybody getting cleaned up by Buttnose. Excellent cleanup job by the English scout, and Finland being at a huge disadvantage.
And actually, Santu actually ended up picking off Azza during that process, so Azza's only going to have a slight uber advantage, about 20% there, so both medics getting traded again, but thanks to Buttnose to be able to clean up their enemy medic here. As it looks like we're going to have a fight here down the lower area. Jose goes down to 30 HP. He's got to be careful as he's running away with his life, not able to connect Hildreth, that is. As a level 3 sentry gun is going to be spammed out here from this lower area. That's exactly how you want to push that. As only 4 alive here from the Finns. Soldier actually, that's Zub over the top. A minute 30 left on the clock, and everything's on the line here for both teams. This is the third round.
The English medic just went back to Zub. So no heals for the English team. We'll see if they can actually do it right now. But the Finnish team is actually losing so many people. They need to regroup. And England not having heals, they're struggling. Cooper's trying to push the car with a fist of steel. Not enough. So many people dying from both teams. But Finland seems to be on top of that at the moment. Let's see if Zub trying to push out the English team from the main area, dealing some damage. And yeah, the moment Uber getting forced from the Finnish team. They're gonna try to pick something with their scouts, trying to go. I'm not sure why the scout was trying to go for, because he had so many targets to pick from, but he goes down eventually. And it seems like again they didn't take the upper area, and the English team tries to go from under and decides to go actually out of there. I'm surprised they're not going to. Demo Man is actually pushing the cart, and the Finnish team lost their medic. And it seems like England will be able to take it, but oh my god, what's happening right now?
How is this being able to be held onto? The Finns are somehow holding on this cart, spying on the cart, gets one step, gets another, is he able to do it? Just the heavy on the cart, 20 seconds left on it, but he's going to be able to push it in. Oh my goodness, Kumi just a little bit off on that final stab, almost a triple kill to be able to defend this point, but it's going to go out in the favor of England with 20 seconds left on the clock. That was one of the biggest clusters, but that's upward last. I mean, it's always a cluster when it comes to pushes, and nice job by England eking it out here in overtime, the final round of this point, and we'll be going on to the second map there.
That was so just close. Crazy. That was so crazy. It was close. People dying left and right. It was insane. It was definitely a close match, and that's what we were looking for today. You know, a close game, an excellent match. And so far, both teams are showing a lot of skill and game sense.
Well, Atomicus, I need to step away here for just a moment. Can you take over and kind of talk about this next map and what you thought about last map?
Sure. Next map will be Steel. Definitely, I'm hoping, at least again, I'm hoping that Q9 will not use the Tomislav, since Steel is such a small map. I feel like, using Tomislav against a heavy that has a regular minigun, you're gonna lose the fights and you're gonna be pushed out of the fights easily. So, but definitely looking forward to see what strategies they might have. We'll see what team will decide to go for an AE push, or if they're going to go for a standard push. And yeah, it's definitely a different strategy than Upward, where Upward is, is standard. You have all the points that you have to cap in an order. You have your choke points. Where Steel, you have more options. You have distractions. You can use your flanking classes to distract the enemy team by capping 1 point and making them think that you're dedicating all your forces towards that point, where in reality you're trying to cap a different point. So at the moment, we're gonna wait for the map change, and we'll get back to you once we started.
Back.
Welcome back. We all missed you.
All miss me. Apparently someone's asking me because I said core classes, what I meant by core classes. I usually mean combo classes, yeah. Demo, med, heavy, pyro, all that different stuff here. As we were coming out to Steel, and so what did I miss when you were gone? What were you kind of talking about, just in briefly?
I was going just in general over the map, what possibilities you have as a team. It's not the standard payload map. You have different points. You can use more strategy. It's definitely a map that encourages a lot of strategy, a lot of distractions, a lot of planning. You usually don't see both teams going for the same thing. One team could go for a AE push, or one team could just go for the standard AE, A, B, C, D, AE. And we'll see how each team has prepared for this map. I'm definitely looking forward.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. As we kind of talked about, I think actually or is maybe a couple casts I talked about Steel, and how it's a very almost an odd map to choose in the playoffs. Just because it can be a map that you can just win or lose just for like a silly mistake, and regardless if you're the better team, if you just have a little bit less team coordination, or you're not quite succinct, I can't even say the word, but in communication, I think they'll definitely work against you here, as we have basically everybody in server just waiting for the last ones to join up to the teams here. But yeah, I mean, it's always really interesting. Also, I mean, again, like how NA play this and EU play this is fairly different. Like last season we had there was the AE push that happened, where the team captured the A point, then went straight to E, and it was really great because I was casting the game, and I'm like, that's a terrible idea. This never works. I've never seen this work in a high level match, and then it worked, and I was like, man, I'm eating my hat right now. So definitely everything is viable. Everything is kind of there, and you'll see some different stuff. It's a hard game to cast to some degree because there's always two different points of fighting going on. There's always fighting going around multiple places in the map. So you have your core fighting, and then you have your flank trying to do stuff. So for instance, if you're a team, you're holding on to the B point, you're going to have, on offense, you're going to try to send people on the flank to overtake the flank and put pressure on that E point. Because if you're able to win that flank battle, you'll actually end up forcing the combo to have to rotate and deal with you. And there's a lot of different strategies around that stuff, but it's almost always this mixture of like just trying to force the combo classes on defense to move around and be uncomfortable and never really to get set. Is what I find to work out pretty well. I mean, do you have any particular strategies that you prefer, Atomicus?
Well, I like I said, I definitely enjoy Steel for the possibilities of strategies. And when I had my team, we would I worked a lot to come up with a decent strategy for AE. So I'm hoping that one team would actually do it, because it's really powerful. You can definitely do it, but it requires a lot of coordination. So maybe one of the team will have that, and it will be really good to do it, because once you get 1 point, you're at disadvantage, you have that momentum, and the enemy team is forced to, to play under pressure in order to bring it to a draw and continue playing for another match.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, all the pressure currently is on the Finnish. They are down a map in this best of 3. They lost upward 1-2 in the favor of England. Who, I mean, I gotta say, England looked incredibly sloppy in that first round on upward. They put up a 14-minute in 27-second time or somewhere around there, and just not too good. And then they kind of just pulled it back together. That aggression, that over-aggression I kind of talked about, they definitely kind of toned it down. I mean, I still think they can get too aggressive at times, but their DM kind of makes up for that. And Zub and Ast have been held a little bit more in check. Zub went absolutely insane in that first round. I think it was like 4 to 5 med picks between the 2 rounds. It was crazy for a soldier to do, and has not been making such a name for himself. Definitely playing well, not doing bad, but also not doing godlike as well. So it'll be interesting to see here as we come out on Steel. And this map is also just a lot of DM fights, and it'll be a better of like who can win that 1v1 in a tight corridor. When you're in against a scout, who's going to win that 1v1? You're not going to have your team around you. You're going to be playing a lot by yourself, and I think that's kind of the interesting thing that happens with Steel, is it turns into kind of a DM fight a lot of the times in kind of random spots.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Definitely, like, technically speaking, on paper, we've seen the Finnish flanking classes, Zub and Ast, doing a lot of work, so I'm expecting them to control the flanks, to win those fights and distract the English team. But at the same time, Granjabob, once he joined the English team, he definitely helped the team, and I feel like that helped him as well. Like, I've seen on the 3rd point on upward doing so much work, staying alive, distracting so many people, and actually just picking them off one by one, just whispering to them like, hey, I'm here, come back and fight me. And he won the duels 1 versus 1, even against the Pyro, and such an excellent spy. And it definitely helped the English team closing that gap and improving over the course of the 3 matches.
Yeah, and Granjabob is a spy who uses pistol, right? He uses revolver, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta say, I love that. Like, there is not enough spies who use revolver in the game. I think revolver, to me, is the best pistol. And, like, I know, like, people like to get cute and say, like, Ambassador, and yeah, you're gonna get some headshots here, absolutely. But what's nice? Consistent DPM. And I feel like Granjabob really uses that to his advantage. As you're kind of saying, not only does he get the picks, but he also uses his knife as well. And I think that's a very hard thing to come by, because usually you'll find spies who have terrible DM in terms of pistol, but they're smart spies and able to find backstabs. And then you have other spies who are just not that great at making stabs. They'll get them from time to time, but they're much more of a pistol spy, which I find to be more of the case in EU, is that they tend to be more pistol spies than anything else. And I think Granjabob, from what I've seen, is just a really good mixture of both. He tends to be patient, and he'll go for the stabs, or he'll go for the pistol here. As we are getting started up here, guys, we're on Steel. This is the 2nd map of a best of 3 of Finland versus England. This is going to be Finland on red on defense starting out. We have English on the blue side starting on offense here. England up 1-0 in this series. Predictions starting out here. Who do you think is going to come out here? What scoreline do you think it's going to be here?
Well, honestly, it can go both ways, but considering what the flanking classes have done for Finland, I'm expecting Finland to be able to hold this, and England might have to be forced to cap every point, each one at a time.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I think I'm gonna put it. I think it's gonna be the English who come out on top. It definitely could be interesting. Definitely, I think it'll just depend on if Zub and Ast step up to the plate. I think the Finns will win it, but I think this is really England's game to lose here, as the gates are opened up. The English are flooding out, and here they come, taking the A point. There's not even anybody on the A point, which is usually you give up the A point for free, but usually you have someone to at least slow them down slightly here, as the Scout Soldier Pyro are going to be capping this, and it looks like the combo is already rotating through to the B side, as looks like England's getting ready to push on this point. Level 3 Sentry Gun in an aggressive spot, not that uncommon. Hildreth's going to try to jump out, and actually gets over the top of the Sentry Gun, able to try to find something, not able to get any damage onto the medic. No force coming out onto Jose here, as he's going to respawn in a few seconds. And level 3 sentry gun on the offense, which is a very European thing to do, as Emilio goes down, and that level 3 sentry gun should be pretty easy to take out now.
Indeed, a very interesting level 3 sentry versus level 3 sentry, but Granger Bob actually getting behind them right now, getting into position. I expect him to wait for a diversion and then he'll go for it. Oh, essentially decloaked. Let's see if... Oh, he gets detected and he will actually go down. And we see the English team actually pushing from above. Uber getting force from the English team, counterpop from the Finnish team. And they might be able to... Oh, Hildreth actually jumping above, fighting the scout, getting some sticky... But now he's disconnected and he's wasting a lot of time there. And I'm surprised the Finnish team is not picking him off. And I feel like the Finnish team at the moment is distracted between the B and E cap. And we see a battle between the two heaviest Cooper versus Kunai. And again, Cooper actually going down to the Finnish sniper. Granger Bob once again going behind. Finnish of the Finland team still struggling to keep control of the B point, and it seems like they're gonna hold it for a while.
I'm gonna go against the grain here, and I'll say that I like what Hildreth did there. I really like that play out of him, and the reason is that when the Demo Man jumps back there, he instantly put down stickies to defend himself, and he did that. It was like clearly a jump on purpose, but it creates a two-front war. Whereas now, if they don't try to fight Hildreth, he can spam them pretty easily, and I don't think he utilized the positioning enough. I think he ran out fairly easily here, as Jose is sitting at 100%, Az is sitting at 90 here, as they're going to get ready to push. A lot of fighting going on the flank right now. Just the Soldier and Pyro who are defending it here, as Uber does finally get popped off, but it's just Hildreth. They dropped everybody else in it. Jose does counter pop here, and Hildreth now and Azza got to be careful. They got to get out alive here, or they should try to get out alive here. As Buttnose tries to come in, Hildreth does get popped up, but they lose Toba in that exchange. But not making too much of a difference, as this respawn differences are only a few seconds. As again, that flank still fighting on, as we see the English are going to re-push out here, try to take some ground on this B point.
Indeed, it was really weird because Buttnose just came towards the Demo Man and he managed to get it quite easily. Like, nobody paid attention to him, and it seems like the English team is holding quite a foothold over here, and the Finnish sniper one down, the sentry goes down, and they should be able to cap this relatively easily.
Yeah, there's a lot of free ground given up by the Finns. I mean, that's kind of been their MO. I mean, I've kind of criticized them on Upward about that. But again, like, if you give up free ground to a good team, they will take it. And that's exactly what England did. They didn't even need to do anything. They didn't even have to fight anything. And they were able to walk up to the B point and spam them out here, as the Uber is going to be popped off from each side around this corridor. They had to be careful. If the Pyro was anywhere nearby for the England, they would have been able to air blast them back. But now the combo for Finland's now in a very awkward spot here, as the Soldier's behind them, as the Cabo's in front of them. It looks like the Soldier's actually going to be fighting them in this lobby corridor. Finally, he's going to have some helping out here. But that entire time that the combo got distracted in lobby, the combo for England has been able to push onto point, and they have so many players around there, they're going to take basically the C point for free, and that's got to be a little bit of a misstep here out of the Finnish side, that they backed out, and they got caught in the wrong section, and the C point went down for free.
Yeah, definitely bad position from Finland, and accident decided by the English team to just go through to the C point, take advantage of the positioning of the Finnish team. And as we see in a moment, the Finnish combo is just holding in the AD connector, while the English team is pushing through the CD connector, preparing to... Oh no, they're backing out. They're gonna go directly to E by the looks of it. And this might go well for them because Finland does not have any sentry on the E point. The E point is completely free. It's like so much free space, and this is so good for England. And actually they got force somehow?
Yeah, Zub actually was holding in that corridor right there, so he's able to get the force out. That's what he's seeing right now.
Well, it seems like the...
Oh my
god!
As fell in the pit on his own accord. I don't think he got bumped in any way, as he'll just be contested here, and here comes Jose popping out of the Uber, but I don't even know if it was needed here, as they clean up the kills. Az getting a nice little 2K there with the help of the sniper in Toba. But these points are going to be defended, and, got to feel some egg on the face of Azza right there, who fell into that pit. That's probably the worst way to die.
I mean, I do see the body of the... Oh my god, Jose just went down, but I'm not sure exactly to what, but yeah, no heals for the Finnish team, as England is pushing through the AD connector, going for the D right now, and mini sentry from the Finnish team, by the looks of it, going down, and seems like the D point is completely free for the take. At the same time, kind of splitting the cap power on E and D, but their combo still holding. Oh, actually, Asa being caught in between and going down to Kumi. Excellent play, getting sandwiched there, and Cooper needs to be careful because the Finnish team is actually pushing him out of there. But at the same time, they do England as a level 2 sentry guarding E. They have the sniper in the back, and this is quite a good positioning, and they should be able to cap this relatively easily.
At least it looks like they're going to here as ×3 on the point. It's pretty close, probably about 10 seconds. Toba does go down there, and that's going to take a significant way of defense here as the Pyro and Soldier actually coming from the B side here. Nice reflect, but the Pyro ultimately does go down here. England still trying to cap the points. Level 3 Sentry Gun did go down, or the level 2 one as they're trying to get onto this point, try to heal up. Hildreth actually overextended, does go down. Scout trying to contest on the point. That's Maddox actually who went down, and here we go. England should be able to come down with this, and finally they do. And that's going to be a 6-minute and 20-second time after that quite extended fight. And I mean, I think if Toba did not die early on in that fight, they might have been able to defend it. But the thing you have to remember on defense, every time you die at that section of the game, it is a 20-second plus respawn. It is ridiculous. You cannot take any needless deaths if you can help it. And that's what makes Steel so rough to play at that point of the game. So nice job by England, 6 minutes and 20-second time. What do you think about that time there, Atomicus?
Well, it's definitely a good time, and unfortunately towards the end, Zoob actually tried to jump the point, but he just fell. I don't know what happened. He just stopped in midair. I don't think he was getting pushed or anything, but he just collapsed and faced the pit. So that was unfortunate for him. Maybe he would have actually managed to jump. He would have been able to land a couple more rockets and maybe push more members off the point. But yeah, definitely a good point for definitely a good time for England. So we'll see if they'll be able to hold it, and we'll see if Finland will be able. Maybe they'll try to go for an AE push, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
It's actually, I think England is currently stealing all of their strats from North America, as they're doing the K&D hold right now, where the medic holds on B against the wall. Demo and Heavy hold very close. Everybody is incredibly far forward here, as the 8 point is going on with the 10 times cap, and if that doesn't tell you what they're about to do here, I'm going to give a strong chance they might go for an AE push right away. They have the level 3 Sentry Gun ready to go. Spy, Grenjabob, that's looking at the combo right now. Nobody's moving off. They're all waiting for that door. Grenjabob's going to actually try to make a play. I don't know if that's worth it there, as Intel, I think, is much more important as they are flooding through here. They're going to go for that cheese push here as Pyro, actually the entire team, literally the entire team here is coming through. Dillman, the furthest one forward now, that is Toba, who's trying to contest this sticky off this door. Scout to jump on the point momentarily. Level 3 Sentry Gun defense is actually pointing directly at the point, and he's able to easily contest it. So we'll see if they're able to do anything as the Ubers do get traded off here. And what are you seeing right now, Atomicus?
Definitely looking forward to see how this is going to pan out for them. Kunai getting out position, and the Finnish team just not getting a hold. They needed the Pyro to be able to. Oh, and actually, Badno is getting the medic pick from the Finnish team, so no kills for Finland. And yeah, it seems like their push got completely denied. We have Chewy from under. They might be able. Grenjabob going on the Finnish sentry, and we'll see if he actually going to go. Nope, Chewy comes in and cleans up the sentry spot. So right now, Finland is back to scratch. They're going to try to contest B, and it seems like they're going to do it. England tunneling through the choke point, and they're going to get completely spammed out. They must get rid of this point, like just go back and hold probably. Like, see, we are seeing a level 1 sentry being built and then carried away through C, and oh my god, so close getting the medic pick from Kumi, but unfortunately it gets detected.
Yes, we have a nice little weird advantage here out of Aza, holding in this B connector here. They gotta be a little bit careful that they don't get, I mean, it looks like they're trying to figure out where the enemy team is going to be pushing from. Jose sitting at 75%. We'll see what they want to do with it here. As it looks like they're just going to push through, and as much as that cheese push didn't work, it was a nice job, as you said, taking down that B point here. Is some nice spam as Buttnose takes down Kumi on the flank, but Zoob takes down Grenjabob as well here. As Zoob's really far off by the D point. Level 3 Sentry Gun still going up again. Just, I don't know, I always find that incredibly strange. It doesn't tend to work out too well, but when it does work, it works amazingly here. And here we go, combos coming through to the E point, and are they going to just go for straight E point push here? It looks like they are.
Yeah, they do have the level 3... Oh, they actually picked it up. I'm not sure that's a good idea if England decides to push through the C corridor, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do it. But yeah, the center will cover. England is going to go back, and this might actually work out for them. Finland is actually holding the DE corridor, and this might be very good for them. They do have Uber. They need to be careful with those Ubers. They need to block the doorways, and Uber getting forced from the English team, but that's not going to help them. And Finnish have the Uber, so they're going to have a complete full Uber versus no Uber, and they're actually going to be able to do it. They need to do this, and they will probably do it because they do have the Uber advantage, and England just bleeding out so many players, and Finland actually doing it, capping the point and bringing it to a tie.
And it's that age-old push onto E after AB, because it's pretty easy to lock down that one spawn door. Respawn times are fairly high. And Finland showing how it's done. They tried their one cheese push, didn't work out, so they tried their other cheese push, and that one did. Here as Finland coming down with the first round in this steel matchup between England and Finland here. As we'll see how quickly they want to ready up and go back into it. But I gotta imagine England is a little bit frustrated right now after a 6-minute time, which is like it's definitely a very solid, not like exceptionally, but you know, like pretty good. But yeah, I mean, what do you think England could have done to adjust to that push that Finland did?
I feel like in the first round when they were pushing, they had a really good readout of the Finnish team. They took advantage of the Finnish positioning, but on defense, I don't know. It seemed like they had Grenjabob notifying them that, hey, they're all sitting on the point, so most likely they're gonna go and push E, and it took them so long to turn around and rotate towards E, and I feel like that allowed the Finnish team to get a hold on E, even though they lost afterwards, and then even so, in the aftermath, they didn't rotate to B, and they allowed Finland to actually grab the point for free pretty much at that point, because they were all clumped up in the tunnel over here and getting spammed from Finland and get pushed up. And they also took for granted the fact that they thought that Finland would actually go for the C cap as well, and they wanted to rotate all the way through C and then E instead of just going through the C corridor. Through the B corridor. So it's, I don't know, I feel like they need to step up their reading abilities of the enemy team. Mm-hmm. It's all about the mind games.
Well, and I thought that was kind of interesting that Finland kind of faked almost to that C corridor. Like they were staying right outside the gates, and then they kind of backed out the last second and went for that E push here. As we come into the second round here, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us out here on BlackOut Gaming. As we're going to have the English, we should see the English on defense first here as, right, I'm not crazy because English started out on offense last time. But yeah, so we should get this squared away here pretty shortly as we're waiting for Hildreth to do his thing. But yeah, this should be an exciting matchup as Finland took the first round of the last map that was upward, and then England came back to win 2 more. And so we'll see if England's going to be able to do the same thing here, is they're going to be able to set the time on defense. And I mean, the biggest thing is making sure, I think England is keeping their flank class alive and making sure they have comms on the enemy team. I think if they improve those 2 things, it might work out well for them. As, you know, Grenjabob was sitting there. I mean, he was watching the enemy team the entire time. I'm kind of surprised that when that AE push came, that it took so long for England to rotate. I mean, they probably knew for at least 30 seconds prior to then that was happening, but they still didn't move. They won that fight, but I felt like it wasn't as decisive as it should have been. But either way, here we go, and I don't know. What are you hoping to see out of the Finnish side starting out here? Do you think they're going to do the same thing again? If you're Finland, would you try the AE push again?
I would definitely do it because the enemy shouldn't expect the same thing twice, right? That's in theory at least. So I'm hoping they would actually do it. They can't afford it. They have an advantage. England is under pressure. I want to see what they're going to do.
So here we go. We have literally everybody running out from the Finland side onto that point. Again, they're not even hiding themselves as they get ×7 on the point. They're going to increase that even more. So here ×9, ×10, and there it goes down. And again, they're going to be doing the same thing. Is Grenjabob in a good location? Yes, he is. And this time he's not going for the kill. Probably a little bit better decision-making here, as he did get spotted there from some of the random spam as everybody's looking for him. Look at how much the Finnish team is doing this, and finally, yes, here they come around the corridor. But the Hildreth does have trap, not able to connect with anybody, and they kind of know what's coming. Here comes the Pyro, first one through the door. And we'll see how they're able to push for this AE point, as they're doing literally the exact same thing again.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. England just sitting on B, finally now rotating, but again. Oh, and it's the mind games that actually went back. And now England is also back. But Finland seems like they left their Pyro on the E point, and also their Engineer and the Soldier. So we'll see if they can get sandwiched towards the B point. And we get a force from the Finnish team. Counter pop from the England team. We'll see who gets on top of it. The Sniper gets down, Toba dies, and the Finnish Heavy goes down as well, so Finland actually losing it. But Jose just went down as well. And it seems like England will hold.
Was able to get out with his life 35 HP here, as England is giving up the B point. I guess there is a teleporter in level 3 sentry gun sitting on the E point still. As England trying to, I think they're just a little bit confused. They don't know what they want to do. Nobody's contesting. He'll just further this one forward, and he's going to get punished for it here. As the city has a slight uber advantage, but they got to be careful. But again, I'll just say this: level 3 sentry gun is on the final E point, and still not really contested. Just the Soldier who's trying to do anything here, as the B point does go down, and looking pretty good for the Finnish side. As last time they took the E point right away, so we'll see if they opt to do the same thing again, or if they'll mix up their strategy.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna... Oh, we have Gunjab accepting the sentry together with the English Soldier. We'll see if we can get it, and the sentry goes down, but the Engineer survives. We do have a bit of a scrimmage between us and Chewie, but he backs out. And Finnish once again going for the C point, and England just giving them the point for free, even though they have Uber. It's so strange.
I'm wondering if the mind games that Finland are playing right now are working incredibly successfully, because I wonder if... The English were like, okay, last time we didn't get over to the E point quick enough, let's go early, and then all of a sudden Finland were like, ha ha ha, we just went C for free. So here we go, both medics at 100% Uber, level 3 sentry gun is being built up on this final point, and we'll see how Finland's going to attack this.
Grunjabab wanted to go for a medipick, but gets detected, gets shot down. England does have a level 3 sentry on the E point, so they might be able to do it. Sniper goes down for the Finnish team, and now they're just in this choke point, and the English demo man, Hildreth, is spamming the point, and they'll be able to shut this down completely. I don't think the Finland team will be able to push through this. And Uber getting forced from the English team, counter pop from the Finnish team, and it seems like they're not going to be able to push because of that choke point, and the English team will be able to reset this back to scratch.
I kind of wonder if that almost looked like they actually wanted just to trade. Like they didn't actually, Hildreth didn't want to get anything there. He went in just enough to get the force, as Hildreth does go down there to ass there. That's a scout from the Finns here who does finally die, trying to get aggressive. But again, these respawn timers are incredibly long for the defensive team here. But Hildreth actually, I think he got lucky and got on a shorter one. I don't know, maybe I missed it or he died a little bit earlier than I thought. But nice job by Buttnose. They were taking down Maddox. Level 3 sentry gun should be easy to take down, but this D point is going down in the Finnish favor, as they're completely wrapping the English team, and they're now a little bit stuck out here. They got to be careful. Asa might go down here if they played incorrectly, because they just look like they're getting sandwiched.
Yes, indeed, and the Uber, they're almost gonna get Uber. Can he get it? Oh my god, and he goes down. He can't get Uber. He was so close of getting Uber, so unfortunate. And this puts Finland at a quite huge disadvantage, with England still holding the E point, being able to get some respawns and defending E. But oh my god, okay, Copper just went down to the Finnish sniper. It seems like Toba is getting some damage onto the English demo man. As from behind taking the English soldier, and there's so much going on, and right now Finnish is actually kept in the point. They're actually in a very good position. Grandjabab on the point, let's see if he gets... Oh, he gets detected and taken out completely, and now they're fighting for the AD corridor while keeping the point.
Yeah, English have to be very careful here. This Hildreth is trying to do something. Actually, Toba finally wins that fight with the help of the Heavy. And here you go, Asa goes down as well. Only 3 alive here, and this point's going to be captured pretty easily, as the Finns should be capturing the point. Heavy's going to be able to try to contest it, but ooh, that headshot. And a couple more breaks come out in the 6K streak that Zub is on right now. Only 3 alive again, times 8 onto the point, 5 minutes and 11 seconds, and England, they got to be shaking into their boots right now, because that is not an easy time to match. But I just want to point out one thing here before I give it back to you, is that push. So when Asa was caught out in that AD corridor and they defended that D point with just the Heavy and Pyro, that was some of the best medic flashing I have ever seen. He did a perfect job of popping that Uber between the heavy and the pyro to keep both of them alive, not taking any damage, and he was able to help secure that kill. So I want to really give a props. We don't all. It's hard to call out good medic play, but that was damn good medic play. Even though England was not able to hold on to that E point, as we are coming out here with the Finns on defense and English on offense. And I don't know, what would you do if you're in an English situation? Would you actually go for the cheese push onto E? Would you actually go for it right away? Or would you try to play a little bit more traditional because you don't have a lot of room to mess up with?
I would definitely try to bait a E push and then go back to B and try to push B, and then from B go back to C and basically do what Finland did. I think that's what they need right now. So I'm hoping to see that.
Yeah, it should be interesting how they decide to play this. Again, level 3 sentry gun on the offensive side. We've yet to see a mini sentry gun this game, as the capture point's going down to just a scout here. As it looks like the English side are going to play this pretty traditionally. Cloudy losing his battles. He'll just trying to jump over the top, and he's going to be taken out by that sentry gun, as the soldier also was trying to do something, but they both got denied so quickly by the aggressive sentry gun, which I love the placement out of. It's one of my favorite spots on this map for a sentry gun, as they're just going to come back alive here and try to re-push. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Grinjabob getting his sap on the sentry, but that's not going to help because it's just by himself. And now the demo man will push in, gets taken out, and there goes the entire combo classes for the English team. So Finland would still hold B. They're not really doing anything. It feels like they're just crumbling at this point. They have the flanking classes on A, trying to push through E, but they do have the soldier. Finland has the soldier and the pyro. I don't think that's going to help them much. We'll see if they can do it. It is 4 versus 2, and it seems like Finland is trying to push in with their sentry. Combo classes sitting on A, deciding to go through E at this point, and Finland is rotating back. We'll see if they can actually go for this shenanigans.
So here we go. Uber does come out fairly early from the Finnish side. Counter Uber comes off onto Hildreth, who's trying to spam out this corridor, maybe try to catch the medic out, as he's not actually able to get any real damage out. Ast on the flank side is doing a good job as the sniper for Finn takes down the soldier here, and now the English are in a pretty tough spot. I mean, if you don't get it right away, I mean, look, they were so far back. I really question this choice out of rotating here, as Jose goes down to a nice flare by Gorston. So that might open it up enough here, but even a heal advantage isn't going to be that drastic if you can't even get through the choke point.
Indeed, they even though they don't have heals, the Finnish team can just go back and spawn and get healed up, so it doesn't really matter. The blue heavy just went down to the enemy, to the Finnish sniper, and right now England is just getting stuck in the AD corridor, getting spammed out, and that's not really a good position to be in, because you can get sandwiched by the flanking classes. So right now England quite struggling, Finland losing their sniper, and finally England getting some foothold onto the E point, getting the force from the England, trying to get that sentry. Sentry gets taken out, and now they're finally taking a hold of the E point, but we'll see if they can hold it.
As a down to 17 HP, they're hiding behind the boxes right now. They still don't have anybody capturing the point. Finally, they get someone on there. Only a couple frags in their favor, but again, they have to hold a spawn door. Like, holding against a spawn door is next to impossible when everybody's inside of there. And there you go, Buttnose going down. That's the person who you want to be capturing this point. Grinjabob goes down as well as Coop and Chewit. And here goes Cloudy as well. And again, I mean, just like if you're going to go for that E push, like you either have to go for it and get it right away or like clear out. And England's kind of doing this like sustaining, slow like push, and it's not going to work out. Like, you're never going to get a successful push this way if you can't ever get a foothold in it, and especially not getting that level 3 sentry gun. But finally the B point is going down behind the scenes here, so they at least will get that going in their favor. But a minute 50 left in the clock in England. I mean, they got to find an answer somewhere because they have not found any yet.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the only chance is to fake out a C push and then completely rotate towards the E. But here we go, we have a battle in the main corridor. We'll see Finland is actually getting forced right now, and England is just going to go back or counter pop. But Finland will just get out, and we'll see the aftermath of this battle. Actually, Santa doing so much work here, just denying the Uber completely, and now England is actually being forced to just cap E, going into the AD corridor, and we'll see if they can actually do anything. Finland is actually building a sentry right now. No engineer for the English team, so no teleporters up at the moment. Well, we have one in the on the A point, but that's about it.
Yeah, And this is with England backs against their wall. I mean, they need to be able to capture this point. Cloudy losing that sniper. Sorry, that was a soldier going down. Grenja and Buttnose also down, but they just got respawns here. So how are they going to play this? Engineer has a level 3 sentry gun. He's going to try to get cute. Nobody is near the E spawn door. I mean, that's where you need to get your heavy or your demo here. Finally, the heavy is for this one forward, but he gets punished for that being so far alone. They're trying to figure out what they want to do. Az is sitting at 94%, about to come up with Uber here. 32 seconds left in the clock, but I mean, this is pretty much do or die for England when it comes to this map, and it looks like they're going to die here as the Uber does get popped off a little bit better for the English side here as Hildreth does take down the sentry gun. He's going to get in a good spot here. ×1 coming onto the point. Hildreth doing his best to keep alive, grabbing that med pack. Here comes some more support coming to the point as they are being contested as Chua does take down the sentry gun. Ass goes down. Hildreth does go down as well, and this is looking pretty damn good for the Finnish side.
Indeed, and yep, it seems like the English team just crumbled. They were going one by one, getting picked off one by one, and not getting a decent team push in the end, and that's what happens when you play under pressure.
So there we go. I would say that was a fairly decisive 2-0 in the favor of the Finns here, as it takes the best of 3 to 1-1. Upward going in the favor of England, Steel going in the favor of the Finns. Upward was 2 to 1 in favor of England, so they barely eked that one out themselves. Obviously, the last 2 rounds in Upward, they won pretty well, but that first round they looked sloppy, and they look sloppy out here on Steel tonight. I mean, just again, it comes down to comms, it comes down to positioning, and in particular when they had that 5-minute time set against them, I just felt like, you know, they just needed to, as you said, they went in one by one. They needed to make a decision, but the decision they made was just to let's just try to hold lobby and try to fight through a choke point to take a point which takes 45 seconds to cap next to a spawn door. Like, unless you have some significant advantage or positioning or surprise, you're never going to win that fight. Like, you can't win that fight purely. You have to take it by surprise. By having a level 3 sentry gun or by some really good strategy. But if you just try to do a straight 1v1 fight, it's not going to get yourself in a good spot, and they got kind of punished for that as we come to the decider map process. And that should be exciting. I don't know, Atomicus, seeing both these teams slug it out so far, what do you think what do you think both teams are going to do when it comes to process?
Well, process when it comes to Highlander is known as a back and forth type of map. You know, teams, there's not really a lot of contesting. You just keep going back and forth, and it's going to be a long map. That's the only thing I know. But I feel like since it's an open map and a popular map as well, it's also a very popular sixes map. I feel like both teams will be stronger. I feel like England will be stronger on this map as well. Maybe Steel, they didn't practice that as much. I know that Steel is not that popular for most players, so maybe they couldn't bother practicing it. And Steel definitely requires more teamwork from both team sides. So see what they can do for process.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, I definitely think that is going to be a map where the flank classes can have more of an effect. I mean, Steel would kind of like that as well, but in particular, I'll be interested to see how Zoob does this game because he has such high skyboxes to work with and many kind of skippable points and the different kind of cute ways that you can play Soldier to get onto the medic, and he's been heat-seeking missile a lot of the game, as Last also has been stepping up on his own. Kind of looking at the last round of Steel, Zoob was actually the third most damage output, right behind the Heavy for Finland as well, sitting at 2,500 with Hildreth and Toba being at 3,300 apiece. So it should be interesting, but I definitely think this map might favor England, and I would probably give England the edge when it comes to this game, and that's purely because every map I've seen Finland play, they tend to be too defensive, and they tend to make up for it because one of their flank classes make a play and they're able to recover from it. But when it comes to 5CP, if you're not every single advantage you have in 5CP tends to be incredibly small, and if you do not take advantage of that in the couple seconds that it's available, you're going to lose out on whatever advantage you had, whether that's players, whether that's Uber, whether that's positioning. It's you got to do it quickly. You got to have to execute it quickly. And England, I mean, they tend to be over aggressive. I mean, that's the thing that's been working against them, is that they have players going out of position and stuff like that. So, but I think in 5CP, I think that's going to work out in your favor. Being overly aggressive often wins you games in 5CP on a Highlander. So it'll be interesting to see how they come down to this. I don't know. So, given all of this, who do you think is going to win? Who are you going to give this prediction to? You got to choose one. Gun to your head. Who do you choose? You can't say it's going to be a close game.
Well, I'm probably going to go with Finland. I have to go with Finland based on what they did on Steel. But at the same time, again, England did pretty well on Upward. But I will go with Finland. For the sake of it. And like you said, definitely I am hoping that both of the teams will try to play in a very aggressive style because it is very rewarding. But like you said, England being so over-aggressive, and we've seen that in Steel as well. They need to regroup in a way. They need to get in a decent mental state where it's like, okay, guys, we're going to be aggressive, but we need to do it organized. Not go one by one, keep it calm. And if they keep that up, then definitely they can win. So I'll go with Finland, but it can go both ways for sure. But I'll stick with Finland. I think Finland will take it.
And I think that's actually a really great point that you bring up, and that's something that tends to go unaccounted for, which is that mental factor. And right now we're on to our fifth round. This actually be the sixth round that we've played in. We've been playing some TF2 action for about 2 hours now, and they've been waiting for 2.5 hours to get this going. So, I mean, everybody in here has been playing for an incredibly long time, mental fatigue. And then you just lost a game, and you just lost a game badly, the English side. And I feel like they could be a team who could be, that again, aggression can maybe lend itself to some tiltiness, that if they are not careful, if don't keep themselves in check, if they don't keep a healthy mumble environment, might work against them. And remember, folks, this is a playoff round. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's no double elimination. It is winner goes in, loser goes out. So everything is on the line right now here as we have England and Finland on the decider map after playing Steel and Upward. You've been playing in you've played obviously. And what do you do when you are kind of in a tough mumble environment, or you've kind of had a tough loss? How do you kind of recover or bring? What does your team do to kind of recover that? How do you get better, a better mumble environment, better mentality?
I mean, as a team leader, you can just say hey team, we need to focus. So it's totally doable. We lost a map, we won the other one, so it's close. We can do it. We need to just keep it up. But at the same time, it's up to each player individually. Because you can tell the person whatever you want to tell them, but if it's not going to get out of that mental state, then there's not much you can do. So it's kind of limited what you can do as a team leader, and it's we'll see if both teams individually can come back to a regular and calm state. And playing 3 maps, usually prefer to play just 2 maps, finish it nice and easy. We've also started pretty late as well, so I imagine both teams are quite tired, and the matches took its toll on all of the members.
Yeah, it should be. We've got 18 in server right now, so hopefully, I'm sure they're tired. I am enjoying this cast. It is definitely an incredibly exciting game. Great plays out of both teams. It'll be interesting to see who steps up in the moment that is needed here, as we are waiting for the ready-ups to happen. I'm not quite sure what we're waiting on. Probably some just discussion going on behind the scenes in Mumble, trying to figure out what they want to do, how they want to recover from the situation. As it's just, this has just been probably one of the best matchups I've seen here, and kind of what you expect coming out of this. So as we wait for these ready-ups to come live, do you know, actually I'm going to go pull up the bracket here if you can talk for a second. I'm kind of curious, do you know who these teams would play if they won tonight?
Actually, no. Surprisingly enough, not really.
Alright, let me...
But I can check it out.
Yeah, so it looks like this is going to go... They're going to go up Denmark. Yep. And they will go up against either France or United States. I'm assuming... Well, France goes against Ukraine. That's not decided yet. But basically, they're in the upper part of the bracket. So whoever wins tonight will go against Denmark. And then the semi-final match would be against United States, France, or Israel right now, as those are still undecided. So definitely some tough matchups. Every game after you get out the group stages is going to be one that's going to be hard fought unless you kind of lucked into a lower draw in the first round. But, I think it shows you how well, and what I really like about this game is that how much it shows you how much that skill set is spread out among the teams, that it's not Even if you thought England had the bigger names, had the better team, or anything like that, maybe looked better on paper, Finland definitely showing their no pushovers here, as they're playing exceptionally well, as we're missing a couple players for this. And well, how about this? Do we want to, I think we're waiting for a couple players to get back in here. Let's take it to a quick break, guys. We'll bring it in when we get 18 back in here, as we're waiting for this final round. So, John, is that all right? Okay, all right, guys. We'll take it out to some music. Stay tuned as we come for the decider map on process between England and Finland. Stay tuned. So here we guys are back live here, England versus Finland here on this first mid-fight, as we're coming out here fairly early on, and Cloudy takes down Jose, and that's going to open up for the English side, as actually Zub trying to counterattack, gets one rocket that connects on Azza right there. What a bomb by Zub right there. I talked about him pre-game, and he is showing up right now, and this might actually go out in the favor of Finland, as, it's still actually going to come out in the favor of England, as they got all of the kills, only 3 alive here, 2 alive. That's just Kumi and Jose who are coming in on the respawn, and nice job by England, despite losing their medic, to keep that aggression up.
Yeah, and Kumi is actually behind on the midpoint. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but Cooper actually capping the point. Not sure if you want that as a heavy. You should be already on the second point to prepare towards the lash push. And it seems like, no, wait. Yeah, both medics went down, so they don't really have that big of an advantage. Small skirmish between the 2 soldiers, both of them going down right now. And England bleeding out a couple of players, but we'll see if Finland can cap back. It seems like England is just going to give them a lot of... Cooper actually going down to Kumi, and it seemed like Finland... Oh, Jose going down again to Cloudy a second time.
Yeah, and Cloudy has his number right now, so really good spot. I mean, England's going to be, what, about 65% advantage, probably just going to keep growing as Jose is still not back alive here. And we're going to come in here, so yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how England decides to push this next. If I'm assuming they're just going to wait for Uber.
Interesting. I feel like Emilio is still stuck with normal sentries because he's using regular sentries, having built a level 1 sentry on the top area, and it seems like England wants to go through the PC area, but they're being called out by the Pyro and the Soldier, and they're still deciding to go for it. They do have the Uber advantage, so they need to do something with it.
So here we go, and actually Zub coming in onto the medic, able to connect with the Pyro Scout and Demo all around him, as that is a drop right there. But it still looks like England might win this fight, as only 5 alive here for the Finnish side, as Grenjabov gets caught up behind enemy lines, but the entire team combo is holding off back in lobby, as both teams are about the same in terms of player numbers, but a little bit better positioning out of England, but the respawns are going to come up for the Finnish side. Heavy's the furthest one forward. Engineer's going to try to capture this point, and Cloudy is forward as well, but Finns should be able to re-push this, as they do have that Uber, and hopefully they can retake it, or hold on to it, I should say, as they still control the point without using Uber.
Yeah, they will be able to cap the mid right now. They won't be able to push with it. We'll see what England will do. They're going to try to... They're going to have to back out because they do have... Okay, Zub just jumping in, not being able to do much as an opening, but yeah, Finland will be able to just cap the middle point for free. We'll see. England needs to be careful not to bleed out any more players. Cooper actually going... No, Kuna going down for the Finland team, and it seemed like Finland would be able... Oh, they actually got forced by the looks of it? so they're gonna try to be not really connecting with much, going through sewers right now, and England already getting out, trying to prepare for getting a defense on the second point, and now advantage goes towards England.
Yeah, that was an incredibly odd pop. I didn't see any reason that Jose needed to pop that Uber. I mean, maybe they wanted just to confirm something. Hildreth just coming back alive here on the respawn, but 100% is going to be in the favor of Azza here, as they have about a 60% advantage that's going to be slowly dwindling away as they're waiting for Hildreth to meet up with the combo. But if I was them, I would push right away, and it looks like they're going to be pushing through this IT area, the PC area, whatever you want to call it. That is where they are going. Combo classes are through there. They need to make sure that their flank is catching up with them, as they did just get spotted, and they're going to back out, which is fairly odd because that Uber advantage is dwindling.
Yeah, I feel like they were afraid that maybe there was a sticky trap there, that they would just get spammed, so it could be a good call, but oh, it's down to getting picked up by Cloudy just from being on top, but we'll see if the Finnish sniper can pick off Cloudy. So far, the English team is just sitting so passively, which is very surprising, considering that we saw them being so over-aggressive in the last matches. So now both teams have Uber, we'll see who will offer initiation. And going to getting a pick on Zub, but then dying.
Yeah, that's pretty odd out of the English side. I mean, the holdout of Finland made sense to be passive because they're at an uber disadvantage. You won't be able to back out with your medic, but for England here, just to do nothing, and now we're at a little bit of a stalemate. No team really deciding what they want to do, and really speaking in these situations, at least how I generally like to play them with my teams was... if you're at even Uber, just play the game. Go in, try to force Uber on each side. Don't commit anybody more than necessary. Get the other medic to force off. Fall back, and then reap dry. I mean, you have a level 3 sentry gun here as Zub's trying to find something fully buffed. Only is able to get a little bit of damage onto Azza. You have a level 3 sentry gun holding your back, so if you do mess up, at least have a chance to hold the point here. As it looks like, yeah, I mean, that is Emilio going for the more passive hold. Zub trying to find something. Is almost able to take down Cloudy. He's going to go down, and... yeah, I mean, just kind of some trading back and forth. Nothing really happening either way. Both teams just filling each other out, trying to figure out where the intro is going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like England is just trying to bait Finland into pushing because they do have the level 3 sentry. They have a bigger advantage when it comes to defending, and I feel like that's actually what they're trying to do. Honestly, at this point, neither of the team have anything to lose. It's 0-0, so we'll see if they do. And it seems like Finland actually take the initiation, getting forced by Chewy. And now England would go back. They do have the Uber. They would actually get forced as well by Kumi. So now England will be able to push forward, hopefully. But actually it seems like they're still going to stay behind. Zub getting a kill on Cloudy. And England still defending the second point, pushing through PC at the moment.
Yeah, they need to do something here. Now it's just about taking those DM fights and winning them here. As it looks like Kunai's going to go down there. They lost Toba in the initial fight, but he's finally back to the forward line as the sniper for Finland's looking down this PC side, trying to find something as a repush, and he does finally find Emilio. Actually, Soldier in, he went past the medic. He didn't realize he jumped over top the medic. He had the perfect angle on it. The Prowl's going to help try to clean this up, but not able to find any frakes here. Gorsten trying to do something. As actually the scout comes in, going to be able to take down Jose, and that's so many down for the Finnish side. Spy is actually on the medic. He's going to get caught out there, but here comes Zub over the top. Gets one rocket. Rocket onto him, take him down. And Asa just cannot stay alive against Zub today. But that point is going to go out in the favor of the English side. But nice play by Zub to at least give the advantage back to Jose.
Wow, and that... Well, now both teams have the same Uber advantage. I feel like, okay, Finland has a slightly Uber advantage, and it seems like we're going to have the first pause of the day.
It's just the first pause. Yeah, definitely is the pause of the game here after some incredibly intense action that went down from that push. I mean, if Asa stayed up in that situation, they would be, I mean, not in a drastic Uber advantage, but in a good enough one that they might be able to do something off of. But here, let's just reassess the situation right now as we are on the first round of this first round of this process matchup decider map between the two teams. And I don't know, so far, what are you seeing between the two teams? I don't know, I guess, what do you have thoughts on this match so far?
Well, definitely England is playing more passive instead of being aggressive, waiting for Finland to initiate the fights, trying to take advantage of the level 3 sentry, and we can see here that the English engineers already building a level 1 sentry in the middle point. So I feel like, you know, since they are at a disadvantage, they will just hold the middle point, get respawns, try to build that Uber, have the level 3 sentry, and wait for the Finnish team to push since they have advantage.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, during that last time when they got spotted in the PC, I don't know, I guess, you know, the English, they did have Uber advantage. But I'm guessing their concern was that if they pushed out onto that midpoint, but here comes the unpause, so we can talk about hypotheticals here. As we're actually, oh no, that was Azza from down from before. I was like really concerned. I'm like, he's still not alive, but that's because we were paused. So here we go, as Jose's going to be sitting at about a 30% advantage as Toba is trying to peek from that PC angle, trying to get some spam out onto the point here, as Hildreth is trying to counter that with his own. As Zoob did take down Buttnose right there, so nice little kill. As a nice little advantage out of the finish. They might be able to push off of it. I mean, it is now getting up to about 40%, but they're opting to hold fairly passively.
They're probably just waiting a little bit for the Uber, see what England will do. We do have Grandship up going. Oh, he might be. Oh, he's not detected. We'll see if he gets something. Q&I smelled something. But no, it's still surviving there in the back. But yeah, Finland should be able to push. But again, yeah, they're opting to do what England did, and that is just giving them just all the time they need to get equal Ubers, which is really strange.
You know, this is what I talked about in the pregame, is that CP in Highlander is all about making, being aggressive and making good decisions, and like you have to go off them quickly. They had about Uber advantage, they've had Uber advantage, and they continue to have Uber advantage for about the past 15 seconds, which is a little bit longer than what it should have, I believe, but again, like, just not doing anything. And even the English team was holding a little bit far forward, that if you push with your team right away, like, if I was the Finnish side in that situation, I would have been holding close to choke. I would have been getting ready to push through. I would have like had everything ready to go. So as soon as I hit 100%, I'm ready to go through. Finally, here they come in. They're trying to just trade a force or something. And as English are, though, they're holding on to everything. Here's Hildreth's coming in over the top. The counter pop does come off. Gets one sticky onto Jose, but not that much damage. As actually the scout's running in onto the point. Just a mini sentry able to defend. Tries to get a Boston Basher, able to connect with 2 melee hits, and does take down Jose here. And that's going to flood the English players who are coming through the PC side right now.
That is an excellent pick by the English scout Buttnose, and now, yes indeed, they will be able to keep the second point. Finland being forced to retreat. We do have Oz from behind taking the English soldier out, and still surviving, still fighting the English engineer, but actually getting pushed out right now into the sewers, but it's still surviving, and now Finland forced to hold the last point. Uber advantage towards England, so now they need to be careful. They need to get that Uber positioning, and then they will be able to hopefully push into last.
So now it's on England. No team has had a really good Uber push out, and it's all because they tend to waited too long here. 100% ready is in the favor of England. They have 60% advantage as it goes down now to 50. Here they come through the shutter side with a scout and demo man coming in over the top. Scout's doing a good job, takes down Toba. There is a mini sentry gun, I believe, in the upper area or something, as Zoob's trying to jump up, trying to get one rocket, gets a second rocket, does take down Azza right there, as Hildreth is still over the top, but so many frags are coming out in the favor of Finland. This is going to be an easy defense from him. Really nice job on this cleanup, but now they need to push out onto that second point if they want to use this advantage.
Yeah, really well defended by Finland right now, and they should be able to push towards the second point right now. They do have the Uber advantage. England still having the medic alive, so they will be able to start building Uber. We'll see if they're actually going to try to contest from Finland. They will push from under. They do have the Uber advantage. We'll see when they decide to pop. Oh, spy on the Finnish medic, and he actually gets forced right now. Zoob, oh no, sorry, Chewie actually trying to get some damage done, but eventually dying. And now they're actually pushing towards the midpoint. Mini sentry, not going to stop that, and they will be able to take the midpoint as well, while England will be forced to defend the second point.
Yeah, England lost virtually everybody in that fight on the second point of Finland. I don't know if it was really worthwhile for them to try to defend that. Maybe they wanted to get a pop off. I mean, they did get Jose 2 pop. They do have about a 40% Uber advantage right now. It looks like they're going to use it as they're going to be caught out here if they push quick enough, as Finland's medic is right outside PC, and that's exactly where the enemy team is coming from right now. They need to go through, and they need to go through right now. Here comes Hildreth from the PC side with the scout in on it, but the medic for Finland is already way out of the choke and just a little bit too long here for that Uber pop here, as Az is going to stay alive. They're going to take this point, and nobody really got died on either side, but here comes a re-push in from the Finnish side, leading in with a scout and heavy. Pyro's going to get into this as well. They do take down the heavy for the English side, as Az is going to be running away with 60 HP, but he's going to get out pretty easily, as we're going to see a trade here. As, how is this going to go down? Actually, yes, Buttnose does go down, but does take down the Pyro for his troubles. And just kind of a little bit of back and forth here, as Az is going to be sitting at a 30% Uber advantage right now.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. It goes back and forth, and it depends on each team if they decide to be aggressive or be passive. And Uber goes now towards England. Finland at the moment trying to get a hold of sewers, getting a little bit of spam. Ast going down to the English sniper Cloudy. Also the Finnish sniper going down as well to Granjabob, and Zub killing off Granjabob, as we have the Uber pop from the English team pushing towards middle. So many people dying from Finland, and Zub actually trying to go for a market gunner. That was a market gunner jump, but not really connecting. And now once again going back and forth, the middle point goes back to England.
But here we go, England. That was a really nice job. They actually took down Jose fairly early on in that fight, and Finland was out of position in that situation. They were holding so far forward at an Uber disadvantage, and I talked about how they were doing so well holding passively at an Uber disadvantage. They completely messed up in that situation and lost basically everybody. So now that kind of back and forth swing that we're seeing is finally going to swing back with a little bit more momentum in England's favor, as they're sitting at only maybe about a 20% Uber advantage. Not significant enough that you're going to really get anything from it, but if you do it properly, you might just get lucky here, as Zub and the Pyro are doing a good job of defending the lobby. Hildreth finally does connect on a sticky here, as 100% is going to be coming out in the favor of England as they get ready to push on to this final point.
They need to kind of hurry up, because As is actually building Uber for the Finnish team, so this Uber advantage will not really help them that much, but we'll see the pop getting forced once again, getting used on the scout. Getting some connections here and there. Engineer going down on the point. Oh, they actually get saved by the Uber, by the counter pop from the Finnish team. Emilio being by himself right now, getting picked up as well, and England bleeding out so many players, they need to back out, and Finland defending the last point once again.
Yeah, this final point on process is one of the hardest points to push in to and to overtake in Tri-FCP. It's just because it's so big, there's so many places to kite Uber, so many places to kite damage, that if you don't overtake and slowly kind of overtake an area, you're basically going to lose it, as Finland does push out here successfully onto the second point. But what I would like to see England do, or both teams do, if they get another push onto the final point, England's been the only one who's been able to attempt it here, as we're getting some fighting back and forth on the PSD side, is if they just take over one area, take over upper, take over this point slowly, rather than just trying to rush everybody, as England does a good job retaking this point without Uber, and actually the Uber advantage is slightly in the favor of Finland, as they drop a couple more players. A nice roller there by Hildreth, and Az is going to come up with 100% here, have a slight player advantage as they figure out what they want to do. Looks like they're going to push into this final point here, as Hildreth jumping in over the top, gets a sticky onto the medic. That's going to be a counter pop here from the Finnish side. Much better Uber actually from the Finnish, of course, as Hildreth is going to re-engage onto the point, but not able to find any kills, and it'll be interesting to see what they do from this point.
Yeah, England will probably not be able to push this in. The Finnish team is already spread out. We'll see if they will either just keep defending, or if they're going to decide to push up. England again bleeding a lot of players, losing control of lobby, and now Finland will have the initiation, while England is forced once again to defend the last point, the second point. Oh, Gorston getting a hairshot reflect on Zub. Well, no shenanigans from Zub once again, while the English team is still the second, and As getting a pick on the English demo man, excuse me. And yeah, Finland will not be able to afford to push out from last by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice play. As actually on an 8-kill streak right now, so he's doing some good work. It's Emilio kind of oddly just ran in by himself. Going to have to sit there for 17 seconds on that respawn here, as Finland is looking like just kind of peeking around the corner, seeing what they want to do. Zoop jumping in pretty early on, as he actually helps get the force off onto Az. I don't know if that was a force, if they wanted to pop that, but here comes the contesting of the point. Everybody from England's flooding out from that area to be able to hold on to the second point, as Toba was down to 4 HP, but he's going to stay alive here, it looks like, as Buttnose and Grenjabob do go down. And just kind of some back and forth on the second point, but both medics about even Uber right now.
Yeah, I feel like both teams are trying to be aggressive in a way, but like those engagements from the Ubers not really that well, not really connecting with what they want. And it seems like once again Finland defending their last while England is taking control of the Uber, of the lobby, excuse me. And equals, the Ubers are pretty equal. The English sniper seems to be down, and that leaves some opportunity for. Oh, actually, the Finnish one. Oh, Grunt jump up, can he get? Oh, no, it gets detected once again. So no pick from the English team on the Finnish medic.
Ast is up to a 10 kill streak right now, killing Hildreth again. Hildreth has to be careful about his positioning. I think he wants to get that forward damage, but sometimes it's leaving him caught out here. As actually the medic is a little bit caught out there. That's Jose, but
oh, Asa went down to Kumi. Oh my God, what an ambassador headshot! That is indeed a drop, and now Finland can actually cap second, push into the midpoint. They also have Uber advantage. They need to be careful not to go up that Uber advantage, and I feel like they can just cap the middle point for free at this point, and then use the Uber for the second point.
If they play it correctly, that is definitely what they can do, but they need to get more forward. All of their team is just starting to get onto the midpoint and starting that capture, as Zub is going to be the furthest one forward. But everybody on the English side is on that second point. They're ready to go. They're holding a little bit passively, trying to build that Uber. The biggest thing with this next push is they need to get frags and they need to get that medic. They can't allow themselves to do a little teeter-totter back and forth. As a soldier actually jumping in onto the second point, doing a good surf. Actually lands one rocket amazingly, but that's Chewid going down. That's 2 players down here. As we're going to get a push from the Finns on the sewer side here, as the scout's going to be the first one to peek out. The Uber's going to come out here shortly as they're going to lead with the scout, who's going to try to chase down the medic right now, who's trying to get out. Good air blasting by the pyro to keep his medic alive, but he's going to go down as Ask continues his kill streak to 14. He's on the point with Zub over the top, trying to get some spam down as was at 90%. Is he going to be able to get this 100% to be able to defend this point? And it looks like he's going to be able to stay alive here as Zub tries to find something. And here we go. Defense is going to hold on. I can't tell who's going to come out in the favor of.
It seems like an Uber has been forced. Oh, he can't get it. Oh, he gets the best ambassador once again. The pick on the Finnish medic, and the English medic is still alive. Finland bleeding players in the end. Both teams bled a lot of players in the end, but then the counterpop from the English team on the scout just helped them so much. And now England will be able to go back in the camp middle now.
Ast and Zub right now are playing phenomenal. Like, I was about to swear there, but I'm going to keep it professional. They're playing phenomenal right now. Ast is actually leading the damage in the game by, what is that, 1,200 points. Next person up, Zub. Both of them are ahead of both Demomen and he's ahead of the Demoman by, like almost 2,000 right there. That is the Scout and Highlander out-damaging a Demoman. That is absolutely insane here. As the point does go down in the favor, the midpoint goes in favor of England, as they are at 86%. We'll see if the Finns are able to use that damage, that goodness that their flank is bringing to the game, as English are getting incredibly aggressive. And the Finns, they're not even going to contest this. They're not even going to get that Uber to be forced out. They're just backing up to that final point.
Yeah, they need at least to force the Ubers, because otherwise they will be at disadvantage into last. And it seems like they're going to actually get used on the last points, and Finland actually losing so many players. If they push right now, they will be able to cap. Everybody needs to push right now from the English team, and it seems like they're not actually pushing in, which is really odd because they do have the number advantages. This is very weird, maybe a misread. We have Chewy getting on the point, jumping, we'll see. Oh, he gets taken out. The medic, us actually getting some Ubers on the enemy demo. Oh my god, and the England team actually capping. So crazy from the English medic.
And that is exactly what we needed to see out of the English team, and exactly what you need to do in this Highlander meta of 5 CP, is they push forward hyper aggressive. They were able to secure kills with their Uber before the enemy team was able to get their Uber. If they waited on that push, it wouldn't have turned out quite the same here. As we come out into the second mid of the game, this is the decider map on process. England versus Finland here. Everything is on the line. Winner goes in, loser goes out. As we are opening up here with a pretty good couple kills coming out in the favor of England right now. As Zoob's coming in over the top, tries to find the medic, is able to find the sentry gun, not able to find Azza, down to 39 HP.
Gets a sandwich, is back in order, but now, yeah, it seems like England will be able to take midpoint. Both teams have Uber right now, so we'll see who will come on top of it from the Uber exchange on the second point. It seems like Finland, again, like they're giving them so much space, and I don't think they should allow that when they have Uber as well, and unfortunately they will be forced again to defend the last point. And oh my god, Toba just going down, Medics going down from the Finnish team, no demo and engineer from the Finnish team. They won't be able to build a level 3 sentry until last. England camping the second point, and it feels like if England is fast enough, they will be able to cap the last point as well if they take advantage of those picks.
We'll see what they do. We are at an Uber, we're at even Ubers right now, so pushing it, still a little bit risky, and it looks like they're opting to do that as well. Also, England is currently up around. Obviously, it's not enough to really park the bus, but it might push them to play a little bit more carefully. As the hold out of the Finns are holding a little bit closer to that lobby area, but it'll be interesting to see how England decides to play this, as they are opting just to kind of put that bus into park and maybe try to find a pick or something, or just wait for a push as Zub is trying to find something and he gets punished for it. But he did take down Chewed early on in that.
Yeah, so far it's equal. One soldier for one soldier, 1 for 1, and not really a big advantage. And at the moment, Finland is put under pressure because they are 1 point behind. So technically speaking, England can just hold this for as long as they want until the entire match is over.
And there's also only 7 minutes and 26 seconds left in this first half. So England also, I mean, they might just waste down the clock, 3-4 minutes, because even if you mess up here, it's going to make it really difficult for Finland to be able to do anything. In Finland, they're not taking no for waiting for an answer here, as Toba's trying to get aggressive outside this lobby area, doing some damage, as Grinjabob did get caught out there trying to make a play here, and Hildreth is putting back some spam into that lobby area. As it's just, again, a little bit of a game of chicken, a little bit of game of back and forth, as no team's really finding an advantage, but Buttnose goes down there to a nice snipe from the Finnish sniper.
Yeah, really good read from the English team. They know they're in the lobby, they're putting sticky traps towards the two areas where they can come from, so it's really hard for the Finnish team to push. I would recommend probably just going from the other side. Zub going down as well to Cooper, so no force from him. And yeah, it feels like Finnish team is bleeding out more players. They lost their sniper as well, Spy going down, so they won't be able to have any more pick classes up, and they're forced to go back to last.
And here we go. England looks like they want to get aggressive here. They come out the roll outside as a soldier jumping in over the top. He does go down. Demoman does get onto the Uber, but good job by this Pyro separating Hildreth out, who's going to die to Santu right there. Very nice job on those air blasts, as Jose did pop that Uber off as well. So Finland are going to be able to hold on to this point, and they also have 4 frags in their favor. One respawn does come out for England, but one of those dead right now is Hildreth. As nice snipe, Cloudy does go down, and that's going to open up the sniper advantage here as a scout's on the point. In Finland, they're looking like they want to put their foot on the gas pedal as they're already running into mid.
Yes, indeed, and we'll see if Zub can actually go. Well, he's actually getting denied a little bit by a couple of stickies. Finland are trying to push through the choke area. England just sitting back a little bit by the back of the point right now. Their medic is kind of cut off by the demo man, so no heals for in the choke area, and England's actually getting forced out from the middle point, allowing Finland to capture it and moving on to the second point, where both teams will probably have Uber.
They are. Az is at 95%. He should be able to get it in time, but that's not going to stop Finland from pushing in. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of a trade here as a Heavy takes a decent amount of damage before he gets some damage, gets the Uber popped off onto him. The frags coming out slightly in the favor of... actually, no, they're basically about even. 7 people alive on each side here. As now Finland is on the clock. Buttnose trying to get a little bit cute there, but he dies. Trying to go behind enemy lines. Zub's going to try to jump in, but that level 1 sentry gun is going to deny him pretty easy with the help of Hildreth. As just some back and forth, and the sniper does go down here, though, on the Finn side, so that's going to open it up for Cloudy to get a little bit more aggressive without having to worry about being counter-sniped. Oh, and there you go, Toba goes down.
Yeah, Toba tried to peek a little bit, tried to get that sentry, but definitely overextended and got picked up by the English sniper. England definitely has this advantage at the moment. They do have that level 1 sentry. If they get to level 3 sentry, it's going to be way harder to push from Finland, even though they're going to have equal Ubers. Pushing against a level 3 sentry is definitely going to be much more annoying. But it seems like England is actually going to be aggressive. They're not going to be passive. They're going to try to go through... Oh no, they're just holding the PC. I thought they're going to push through PC. But yeah, they're just going to hold. They have a level 2 sentry. Kunai going down to Granjambov, so... Finland definitely can't push right now, but it seems like they want to go without a heavy. Uber being forced or being pushed in the middle on the choke point. The sentry is getting rankled. All the focus is getting put onto that sentry. Sentry go down, but the England team still have their Uber, and this Finnish push will be complete and nullified. The Finnish medic just went down as well, and the push got completely denied. from the Finnish team.
Got caught in there. Zub is the only one. He's actually going to jump back in after looking like he's going to jump. Only lands one rocket onto Azza. And unfortunately, the Miracle Worker is not able to find enough rockets to at least try to even this up here, as Azza was able to hold on to Uber that entire push, which is pretty disheartening. I mean, you push in with Uber advantage, your medic's nearby, and you're never able to even get a force off onto the enemy medic here, as the enemies looks like England's going to be pushing from the PC side. They've been liking this push onto the second point, as Toba's putting a nice sticky trap. I don't know if they're going to see it. Is he going to get it? Yes, he does get the heavy, but not able to connect with the demo. Uber does get popped off onto Hildreth and the scout, who's running all the way onto this last point. Tries to get onto the medic, who's defended by the soldier, scout, engineer, and sniper there. So Buttnose not able to connect there. England's going to be able to capture this point. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, as Ast is on the medic right here, and the level 1 sentry gun as well. But only 3 alive here, and oh my goodness, he does take down Cloudy, but this is looking like a good push for England.
Definitely only 3 people, getting 2 respawns now from the Finnish team. They have heals, but that's not going to be enough. They need more players. They need their heavy, they need their sniper, they need their flanking classes, which are very powerful. But it seems like England actually deciding to get out and not push, even though, I mean, they're at a disadvantage, so maybe that was the right call in the end.
I think the spawn wave came up at the last second. They're getting ready to go in, and then they're like, oh wait, spawns. And if I was Finland right here, I mean, they do have Uber advantage. It's only if they get the medic pick here that's going to actually really matter. And as it does go down, as I said, that Santu connecting with his shotgun, as a level 1 sentry gun is still defending this point, and only 2 alive, so they were able to get the medic. But you know what they paid? They paid everybody in the world for that prize. Soldier in on the point, just the scout trying to defend it. And there you go. That is a wipe, and that is a ground going to England right there. 2-0. As they're looking to take this fairly, I won't say decisively, because it definitely is back and forth, but a minute 50 left on the clock. Probably no more points going to come down in this half, and England's looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely that last push from Finland. That was under pressure. It was a push under pressure. They didn't really. It wasn't really a good engagement or decider. But here we go. Now we have the third middle fight. Chewie already going down to Toba. The English team already getting pushed out from the in the sewers, and it seemed like Finland would actually be able to cap this without any problems. As we see, we have Gunja Bob getting the demo pick on Toba. So no demo man for the Finnish team, 4 people down for England, and Finland will be able to go really aggressive. They're being so aggressive now. I really like that from them. They really need to do this, and we'll see if they can push this into a last with Uber, but both teams will have Ubers, so we'll see the aftermath of the Ubers.
So here we go, and Uber does get traded off on each side, as looks like nobody's really getting the advantage fairly early on. Cloudy does go down. I'm sorry, gets a nice snipe onto the heavy here, as Soldier's doing a good amount of damage onto Santu's. Jose goes down as well to a nice play. Sticky, as Engineer is actually going to be running onto the point as well as with Soldier, but Zoom's going to get pushed off fairly quickly. 40 seconds left on the clock here for Finland to be able to do anything in this first half. They are down 2-0 right now. Scout's trying to run onto the point as well as the Demo Man, but Toba's going to get cleaned up as well, and this is pretty much only going to be capped if a spy makes a play. And as I say that, Cloudy picks him out. And so this first half is going to end in 2-0 unless a miracle happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of pressure on the Finnish team. It feels like it's less organized. They're throwing players one by one. They're really rushing through decisions, not really keeping a clean mental state here.
Oh, there is no halves in this decider map. This is actually just going to be a win for England. I am sorry. I had the miss. I did not know that. The GGs are called out in chat. And there you go. So
England actually winning that.
England actually wins that. This is E2F, not UGC, as John tells me. My rule sets do not exchange over like the American dollars do. So here we go. Congratulations to England, taking it 2-0, and now it makes a lot more sense of why Finland tried to make that desperation push out of that last point that ended up giving that second round to England. But, you know, we saw it right there. I mean, that final push, obviously it was for naught because you weren't going to get 2 rounds captured in 2 minutes. But if England Finland pushed that aggressively all game, it might have been a different game. Obviously their flank classes were doing superbly, but I felt like maybe their core classes were not as aggressive as they needed to be. But either way, I mean, honestly, great game all around. And I don't know, kind of final thoughts on this game, Atomicus. What did you like, or any standout players from this game?
Well, disappointed definitely in Finland because they had a really superb flank. They had top damagers, you know, like they had Ast, they had Zub. They were doing so much work for them. So it's really weird because on a CP map, you know, you would expect the flanking classes to do a lot and influence, but it was so passive from both teams. Props to Finland though; they did try to initiate most of the battles. So even before they were behind and out of pressure, they still tried to initiate those battles when England was sitting on second points with their level 3 sentry. So definitely props for them for trying to engage with a disadvantage.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good game as England is going to go on in this playoff. They're going to be sent on to, I believe, the quarterfinals next against Denmark. So that'll be definitely an interesting game coming up. And as they get one step closer in this Nations Cup here. I don't know, kind of any final thoughts? Actually, hold on one second, guys. Looks like we are going to do some interviews here. So it sounds like already got chat. Hildreth and Cloudy. So Hildreth, Cloudy, are you guys here?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
So first question I'll bring out to you guys is, congratulations anyone, obviously. And coming out into this game, that first round of Upward, I mean, How did you guys kind of feel after putting up that 14-minute time? Were you guys kind of able I don't know, what was the mumble environment kind of in there? Did you guys feel confident, or were you feeling a little bit shaky after it?
No, the mumble environment. What do you mean after we lost on?
Lost up for the first round Upward, and even the Steel match too. I mean, just how did you guys feel like you did? I mean, it seems like you guys recovered very well after kind of a shaky round.
The start was we really weren't playing well. We were probably not very focused. I had 140 ping and for the first round, and Granger wasn't in, and there was the long delay, so we got stomped pretty handily. After that, we kind of got lucky on Upward second rounds because our engineer was on minis or stuck on minis. The items were down.
Yeah.
And so we really got fortunate. They didn't have minis in that. And we managed to win off the back of that. And then the third round, it was really close. We kind of grew more into the game, even though we got badly outplayed on Steel and fortunate on Upwards.
But Steel would have been a different game if we would have won Upward, probably.
Yeah, what exactly happened on Steel? The first round was you seemed like you had a good mindset over the Finnish team, where they were, what they were trying to do, and then the other two rounds, it seemed really off, and like you were struggling.
Talking to me, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. On Steel, I don't know. They got us on the we had a really good B-hold, but they just got us on the flank every time. They made us rotate to E, and we always win in the fight, but then we were just slow to react to them. We kind of were hesitant. We didn't know where they were, whether they were going to go straight for E. It's kind of the mental thing when you fear losing E. I think we kind of bottled it a little bit because we should have just gone straight to B, and if we knew they were on E again and we had uber advantage, we'd defend it easily. So we kind of made a few errors.
Yeah, I have to thank the Russians for our Steel tactics. We pretty much copied them a bit. Rushing E, for pulling the defensive team back to E and then pushing B and so on.
Yeah, I mean, it's counterable, but especially if we get the favourable exchange, I think we're just nervous, hesitant.
Yeah, but we had a really strong flank with Zub, so it helps.
Zub MVP indeed. Was it a miscommunication when it came to, you probably had Granger about just telling you, hey, they have their entire team on A, and they're probably preparing to push through E. Was there something going on Mumble that made you hesitant
on
going to E?
On the first round, Granger's Mumble crashed out because I was asking, are they there, Granger? And he was just silent, which isn't like him, because he'll give you an answer in every situation, even if he doesn't know. And after 10-15 seconds, he just started typing it. So we had a bit of a late rotate on the first round. The second round, we were prepared. We were ready. We should have been ready. I called the rotate ages ago, but I don't know, when you play with retards like Asa, it's always going to happen. Yeah,
we did notice because Hildreth, you rotated quite early, but then the medic and the heavy, you still there, so it was a bit we can't imagine that it was some sort of miscommunication there.
I called our team to rotate, but they didn't hear me. I mean, it's fair enough. First time Coop was playing with us. So, not more can be said. Maybe you should ask Cloudy. Cloudy wants to talk.
We haven't really been practicing very much with a very steady roster, so coming into this there was just a bit of confusion in general.
But you're still the defending champion.
And then Zoo coming in and causing chaos didn't really help things for us.
Well, it seems like we have Asa in here, so please go on.
Hello. I just heard Hildreth shout me out, being a bit rude. Thought to drop in.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What happened on Steel when
I fell in the pit?
Well, that too. What exactly happened there?
I don't know really. I saw the pyro coming from toilet, whatever you call it,
and you just panic and you're like, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna jump. I can't be arsed with this. Jump off the cliff."
Yeah, pretty much, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I was hoping Buttnose would kill him. I don't want to leave Buttnose, so I was just kind of standing around there. I don't think anyone on the team noticed though, so that's okay.
All right. Well, with that said, on that note, congratulations once again to England for winning. Best of luck against Denmark, I believe. It's going to be an interesting game. I do know some of the top players there. Any last words, shout-outs from any of you?
Gonna start from the top.
Azza?
Oh, geez, me. I was just compiling my list. Christ. Shout out to For the Logs and Budget Toucans. Shout out to my mum. Shout out to Coop. Shout out to Hildreth for being mean to me just now. What the fuck, man?
Good.
Indeed, that's just common banter, doing the team. It's good. It's good.
It's the love. Cloudy, how about yourself?
Shout out to Simon, shout out to Cherry, and shout out to CJ, my team.
Sounds good. Hildreth, hi.
Excellent.
I want to thank you guys for casting and sitting through all the shit games that had problems. John for doing all the work, setting everything up. Yeah, it was really good. And GG to Finland, because that game was really close and we were very lucky to get away with the result.
Yeah.
Things are going to change, starting with cutting our medic.
Toba?
I just want to thank my teammates, and then I want to thank Ari and John for setting up the servers and streams and stuff. That was really helpful, no DDoS and all.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic to get a full game in best of 3, every map being played, virtually every round, just except for the decider in Steel as it went 2-0 to England. So thank you guys all for jumping in here. Thank you guys all for giving us these interviews, and congratulations again for England for moving on here. They'll be playing Denmark in their next game. From Atomicus, John, and myself, thank you for all of you guys for checking it out, and have a great night.